I should warn you, I'm a compulsive liar. What do you expect from a guy who was born already wearing shoes? Whoa, where'd he get those? The midwife was so impressed she let me drink a UDL. Lost someone that you truly loved, only for someone extremely terrifying to take their place? I am, of course, referring to the train replacement bus. The nightmare on wheels. Have you seen these people on the train replacement bus? These are freaky, freaky people. They're not right. You're sitting next to an old lady breastfeeding a puppet. The thing is, it's not people I've ever seen on the train. These people, they're not on the train. It's like they're only on the train replacement bus. It doesn't make sense. Oh no, I'm not interested in the train. I exclusively catch the train replacement bus. I mean, yeah, I want to go to Sydenham. I also want to explore all the back streets. Yeah, I'd love to go to Green Square, but only if it takes 1 hour and 50 minutes. How else will I watch an entire movie on my phone with no headphones while I eat pasta with my hands? Do you guys like underdogs? Do you support the underdogs? I'm sick of them. I don't like these underdogs. I like maintained success. I like back-to-back champs. I like top dogs who dominate their chosen field or industry. They are an elite squadron. They are an undeniable machine. And these underdogs come out of nowhere to threaten the legacy they have created? No, thank you. Oh, but you've got to go for the underdogs. They're so scrappy. The underdogs are very scrappy. If they're so scrappy, why don't we take them to the scrapyard? Put them on the scrap heap. Oh, but the underdogs, they've only got a 1 in a million chance. You like those kind of odds? That is perverse. Underdogs, pah! I don't like David. I hate David. I'm sick of David. I'm very pro-Goliath. I like Goliath. Go Goliath! Squish him! Squish David! I want Goliath to squish David. I want Goliath to squish me. I want a big bloke to squish me. I want a really big bloke to catch me and to squish me. I want a big bloke to beat me within an inch of my life. I want a big bloke to fuck me up. But it's great to be here. I mean, am I dreaming? Is this real? Are we in the metaverse? What have I done to deserve this audience? What's with all the snipers? That's crazy. I reckon just sit back, relax, forget your troubles. Having said that, at the end of the show, you will need to remember your troubles. Seriously, please. Your troubles will need to return to you. I can't stress that enough. It's happened before. One time I did a show, the vibe was so good, this guy forgot that he had type 2 diabetes. Afterwards, he went out, and it pains me to say this. He had a cherry ripe. You think I feel good about that? You think that doesn't weigh heavily upon me? I think about that every single day. What if I did the whole show like this? Yeah, g'day, seen any good pornos? I want to see a porno before I die. I got a lot riding on this gig. I want to do well. I want to get monster laughs. I want it so bad it's pathetic. It's very, very unhealthy. And I know a lot of you, you're looking at me, you're seething. You're thinking, oh yeah, he only gets to perform here because his dad owns the Comedy Store. How dare you? This has nothing to do with father. I'm here because I'm talented. I'm here because I'm good at noticing patterns. I'm here because I've got an interesting body. Okay? Everything on much, much more. Dave, there's something wrong with the water. I want to be really, really confident tonight. I wish I had the confidence of one of these guys who just crosses the road whenever they want. You know these guys? They don't care about the traffic lights. They don't even care about cars. They'll give a car a smack. They're like... You know these guys? They got a little head and a big ass. Walking across the highway at peak hour. Often accompanied by a weird mate. Come on! Oi! I'm not like that. I'm not like you. I'm really insecure. I've actually never crossed the road, ever. In my life, I live on top of this building. I've never been across Anzac Parade. I long to go. I want to go to Sydney Boys High School, see what they're up to. I want to go to Sydney Girls High School, I just want to see what everyone's up to, okay? Is that wrong? What, I'm not allowed to see? What, is it illegal for me to see what people are up to? This is exciting. I saw a woman wearing a t-shirt. It said, Sam Campbell rules. I thought, wow, how about that? Sam Campbell rules. But then I looked underneath, it said, Rule 1, keep him away from me. Rule 2, I don't want him going anywhere near my handbag. Rule 3, capture him, put him in a gulag. Rules, bureaucracy. This is a vicious industry. I'm not well liked on the comedy scene. They don't like me, they hate my guts. Well, they resent my faith. I've heard them talking about me. Yeah, these comedians think they're so cool. Cooler than the Christ child? I know what they're saying. Oh, here he comes. The God botherer. I beg your pardon? What does that even mean? God? You think I'm bothering God? If I'm bothering him so much, why did he sacrifice his only son upon the cross to forgive my every sin? I don't think I'm bothering him. I think he loves me unconditionally. God is good. God is really good. He likes me. All day I've been practicing my routines. I try out all my stuff on my guinea pig. I'm the caregiver to a beautiful little pet guinea pig. But my guinea pig only likes topical humour. My guinea pig likes topical gags. I think it's because I line its cage with newspaper. So, doing renovations on the Opera House. Got anything on that? So many animals drink up. Guinea pig drinks down. From a sort of long metal teat. Will we ever understand the world of rodents? Do you remember that mouse? Remember that famous mouse? Scientists got a mouse, they grew a human ear on its back. Get this, that mouse just turned 15. It wants to get the ear pierced. It wants to get a hoop earring. It wants to go to schoolies with Tamara. She's a bad influence. Tamara? That's where they put a bit of a human on an animal's back. Sometimes they put an entire human on an animal's back. What about these jockeys? Have you seen them? Do you like them? They're jockeys. I don't mind them. A lot of jockeys come to my shows. They don't get any recognition. The horses steal all of the limelight. It's got to be frustrating. At the end of the race, you hear, and the winner is Mr. Razzle Dazzle. Then you hear, and Gavin. Come on, I was involved. Hey, who's that little fellow with the polka dot hat? Don't worry about him. He's not important. Oh, I like your shirt. What is that? It was a jumper. What is that? Is it a shirt?
It's a hoodie.
It's a hoodie. Ah. What is it? What does it say?
It says Venomins.
What's it?
Venomins?
Vitamins. Oh, is that vitamins? Is that the cross between a vitamin and a veteran? Okay. Veterans probably like to have vitamins. Hoodie? It's the worst hoodie I've ever seen! Hey, I'm gonna kill you! If I could, I'd kill everyone here. I've got a grenade in my rucksack. You don't want to turn up to heaven just by yourself. You want to rock up with a crew. St. Peter, we've got a party of 150. I don't know if you can tell, but I went to get a key cut this week. I needed a spare key and I did something about it. I went down to the shopping centre kiosk. A friend of mine is coming to stay from out of state. All week I was thinking, I've got to get this key cut, I need this key. I took my key off the key ring. I wanted to have it ready. I accidentally left my key on the kitchen table. I went down there, I didn't have the key. I said, I'm sorry, I forgot the key. This key cutter, it was remarkable. He said, just describe it to me. I said, well, it's very much in your classic style. Beginning at the tip of the key, it goes up, down, kind of flat lines for a while, not much going on. Up, down, then the shape. Up, down, a few nibbles, up, down, strong finish. He made this key, it was amazing. I mean, it didn't work, but the fact that he gave it a crack. It's tough being a key cutter. It's not easy cutting keys. You can't make an honest living cutting keys. You can't feed a family cutting keys. Go to a careers advisor and tell them you want to be a key cutter. They'll say, no way, it's not going to happen. Unless you also learn to repair shoes, fix watches, do custom engravings, and hang up way too many Swiss Army knives. Yeah, all right. A lot of Swiss Army knives with NRL team logos on the handles. I've been thinking about getting a haircut, which is a slightly different thing. No, it's tough. 2 people have demanded that I get a haircut. My mum and a guy I don't know who drove past. Threw an empty can at me. I'm hesitant. The last time I got a haircut, it wasn't a very pleasant experience. I didn't enjoy it. I had one of these unfaithful barbers. My barber had something of a wandering eye. He's cutting my hair. He says, so, what are you up to on the weekend? I said, I'm putting together my application for a reptile licence. He said, yeah, right. What about you? He's talking to the guy getting a haircut in the chair next to mine. That's not allowed. That's not appropriate. You talk to me. This guy, this yahoo, goes, this weekend, yeah, might be going down to the golf course. My guy says, golf? I can't believe you like golf. I myself am an avid golfer. They start talking all about golf. I said, excuse me, I exist. What are you playing at? You don't go diagonal, you go down. You're not a bishop, you're a rook. I didn't know you could feel so incredibly lonesome while someone is gently touching your head. And they wouldn't let me keep any of the hair from the floor. I said, give me some of that floor hair. They said, what do you want with the floor hair? I said, that's private. If you must know, I'm building a nest on top of the Crown at Barangaroo. I'm a creepy guy, I've got a lot of nests. I've got nests all around this city, believe me. I've built a lot of nests. I'm a creepy guy, I'm a real creep. I cover up every part of my laptop except the webcam. I'm creepy and sure, why not? I'm also a bit freaky. I get kind of freaky. I like to go to the beach. Don't swim. No, I'm not swimming. Too busy flying my drone. Using it to drop Maltesers into people's snorkels. I'm disgusting. My breath reeks. I floss my teeth with a tapeworm. I'm disgusting. I'm a sicko. They want to give me the electric chair. They're worried I'm going to sniff it. But let's get to the point. We're here to talk about the Bratz dolls. The Bratz. Who came up with that name? They don't look like brats to me. I find them very stylish. I think they're quite sophisticated. They've got all the latest fashion. They've got some amazing accessories. Brats? You call them brats? They're not brats. A brat is a nasty little person. Brats throw tantrums. Brats are very selfish. These chicks care about each other. They're always doing photo shoots together. They look good. They look after each other. Also, brats. Brats. What, a Z instead of an S? You people are okay with that? No, that pisses me off. I'm boycotting the Bratz dolls. I'm not buying any more. And that's not an empty threat. I've got quite an impressive collection. I've got a lot of Bratz dolls. I keep them in the bath. I'm not buying any more until there's a complete rebrand. I firmly believe with all of my heart that they should not be called the Bratz dolls, they should be called the Dynasty of the Elegant Sisters. Am I wrong? What about these dragonflies? Have you ever seen a dragonfly? You may have encountered one at a picnic. That name is too good. How'd they get dragonfly? Pretty cool name for what's essentially just a long fly. Very lucky to have gotten that. Do they get to choose that? Very lucky, very suspicious. Could easily have been called the sausage fly. Bratz dolls and dragonflies. Everything else in the world I'm totally fine with. Those are the two major problems. Oh, and of course number plates. You seen these number plates? They're on the front and back of many vehicles. Why are they called number plates? I'm seeing a few letters. I'm seeing a lot of letters. Sometimes it's an even split. 3 letters, 3 numbers. Sometimes there's 2 numbers, 4 letters. That's a lot of the plates, sweetheart. Don't get me started on letterboxes. They got numbers on them. Dave! Oh yeah, will I ever get it together? Will I ever be the ultimate gentleman? I used to go and get ice cream. Oh. How are you, Alan? I know this guy, he's not a good guy. Hi! Who sent you? I used to go and get ice cream. I wasn't making classy choices. I didn't have a mature palate. I'd run in there, I'd say, give me the triple choc chip surprise. Give me the hokey pokey googa. Give me the Rocky Road bubblegum idiot dickhead. Childish flavours. I don't get ice cream anymore. I get gelato. I sidle into the gelatismo, wearing a silk tuxedo. They say, what would you like? I don't ogle the selections. I don't lean against the glass. I lean back as far as I can. I I make my mouth really, really small. And I say, pistachio. Oh, an excellent choice, sir. Would you like it in a cup or a cone?
Neither. Give it to me straight.
Some of you may find this next story disturbing. It's an expose that will likely lead to the collapse of the judicial system in this country. I was in the city, I walked past the courthouse, I walked past the judge, the robes, everything. A judge. He was on the phone. He says, yep, just about to have lunch. In his other hand, he was, oh my goodness. He had one of these products. It's 4 crackers, 4 bits of cheese. You know what I'm talking about? Plastic container, 4 crackers, 4 bits of cheese. I'm sorry, but that's what you're having for your lunch? That is not a substantial meal. 4 crackers, Your Honour. 4 bits of very processed cheese? Haven't you been elected to this position because of your ability to make good decisions? I wish I had my own gavel. I'll knock it out of his hand. No, that's not good, that's bad. That's not lunch, that's a snack. That's the kind of snack they give you on a plane. They got big tubs full of that crap. You're not on a plane. You're in the CBD. You've got options. What's wrong with sushi? Get a poke bowl. Poke bowl overruled. No, surely not. I'm watching him. I couldn't look away. He peels off the lid. He takes the first cracker. He puts 2 bits of cheese on it. He doubles up. This guy doubles up. He eats it. He takes the next cracker. Once again, he puts 2 bits of cheese on it. He doubles up again. It is a sickness. He takes the next cracker. By the way, not even the final cracker. This is just cracker 3. He looks in the now empty cheese reservoir. He gets a look on his face like, oh no. I'm gonna have to raw dog it on these last 2 crackers. A judge! It's unacceptable. This guy wields a lot of power. He's a goohead. He's developmentally challenged. He's looking at a cracker like it's the Rosetta Stone. You want this guy presiding over a homicide case? I don't think he could be trusted with a snack. We've seen how he goes with simple 4-to-4 distribution. You like his chances rationing dip? Hello? I'm pretty sure he was wearing a wig. The whole thing upset me. I was really, really, really emotional. I went to see my therapist. I lay down, I said, I just don't know what is happening to our society. He said, sorry, what was that? I looked up, he was sucking on a Zooper Dooper. A therapist! Is there ever going to be a royal commission into the viscosity of the hand sanitizer at various retailers and businesses? Can we talk about this? Are we serious? Some people had misgivings about the vaccine. I want to know more about this 2-bit gloop the cafes are putting in the dispensers. You never know what's going to come squirting out of this thing. Sometimes it's whipped cream. Sometimes it's a warm, grey mucus. Oh, why is it warm? Does it have to be grey? The worst is when nothing comes out. Where is it? You got to fill this thing up. I'm getting nothing. Because people have been touching this thing. Everyone's been touching this thing. I'm touching it. I'm not getting the thing that takes away all the touches. What, now I've just got all the touches? Oh, that guy, yeah, he's got every touch in town. You think that's what I want? You think that's what my family want? You think that's what they had planned for me when I was born in the hospital, drinking a UDL, wearing Reeboks? I don't want to get too into the nitty-gritty, but, well, there was a lot of nit, and there was a hell of a lot of grit. There was a great deal of controversy surrounding the PCR tests. People whinging. We had to line up. It was expensive. How about taking some time to show your admiration and your appreciation for these poor dweebs working late at the laboratory, processing the tests? That's a lot of tests. Would it kill you to show them some love and some support? I got the PCR test done. Both nostrils, very thorough. They put the swab into the tube. They put the tube into the bag. Before they sealed up the bag, I said, hold on. I threw in a couple of scratchies and a Ferrero Rocher. Call me old-fashioned, but I don't like to just give someone the bag of my bile. I don't like to just give someone a sachet of my deep, dark snot. I like to throw in a Ferrero Rocher. It's called sweetening the deal. And what a classy little number, the Ferrero Rocher. One of the few products that deserves to be wrapped in gold foil. I'm looking at you, Western Star Butter. Western Star Butter, we see you. You think butter deserves golden foil? Butter? Gold? Really? Don't you think that's a little decadent? Don't you think that's a little debonair for a spread? What's next, Western Star? You're going to give the butter a frilly little, the paper, the brown, you know what I'm... The shuttlecock, the Switzerland, the little dough. You know what I'm talking about. This is a dumb crowd. Why do I lash out on the people I love? I love the Ferrero Rochers. And I've still never had one. I just don't have the capital. But sometimes after dinner, for dessert, I'll just say the words Ferrero Rocher. And that's enough. Ferrero Rocher. Then 6 hours of Rogan, then sleep. Where are my Rogan guys? Where are they? People say he's bad news. I can't stop listening. Why do the greatest lessons come from forbidden masters? I've got to be careful. I was recently deplatformed. Someone pushed me off the jetty at Lavender Bay. Oh, you got to stay informed. I've been doing a lot of reading. I've got a great love of reading. I read everything, except social cues. To me, there's nothing better in the world than curling up in a beanbag with a good book. I get into the beanbag, I unzip it, I get in there, I'm in there. Sometimes someone else will come along, don't lie down on the beanbag. They don't know I'm in there. They don't know I'm in there with the beans. They don't know I'm in there sniffing their neck. I've got to stay so still, and it is so worth it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Has anyone graduated to the Kindle? Got the ebook? Yeah. Doing burnouts outside Dimmicks? Never again. Yeah, I got the Kindle. There are things I miss. You know, I like to finish a book and peg it at the wall. Del Toro, Quest! Ah! Thank you, Emily. But there are advantages. I got the waterproof Kindle, so I can spit on it. I bought my Kindle second-hand. So you know, on a Kindle, if you press on a word, it shows you a definition of that word. If you hold down on the word, it'll show the definition. And you can look to see all the words that have ever been looked up on your Kindle. That's how I learned that the previous owner had looked up 2 words. Neo-techno-feudalism and nipple. Tell me more about this nipple. And yes, the previous owner was a blood relative of mine. I'm not going to say... Oh, it was one of my uncles. It was my Uncle Brendan. He's a dirty, dirty prick. I want to get an operation to become a computer. I want to be silver and have no empathy. Because computers are very powerful. I'm serious. They once had a tournament to see if a human being could beat a computer at chess. And sure enough, the human won a few rounds. Everyone's like, yeah, good on ya. Wow, go humans. We've still got it. But chess was invented by humans. That's a human game. That's one of ours. I want to see who could convert a Word document into a PDF faster. I don't know if a human can even... I've tried, you know. It's... Rise of Rule. When are we finally going to get a Compare the Meerkats feature film? The ads crack me the hell up. The Meerkats, Sergey and Alexander. They've been making us all so happy for the best part of a decade. They're classy. They wear robes. They're nice with it. Why haven't they had a movie? What's going on? They are so ready to make the leap. And don't try to tell me they can't fill the big screen. I went to the cinemas. I went to Hoyt's. I went to Hoyt's to see The Lost City with Sandra Bullock. At Hoyt's. Before the movie, they played a Compare the Meerkats ad. I'm serious. People stopped talking. Hold on, these guys are all right. Can we dim the lights? These guys are sensational. I mean, it's all rigged. What have we got? Kung Fu Panda 5? How to Train Your Dragon 10? This dragon is getting quite an education. What are you teaching this dragon? How to do brain surgery? Yeah, my dragon's getting his PhD. The plot is simple. The baby meerkat, baby Oleg, gets kidnapped. The meerkats have to rescue him with the help of their new sidekick, Machine Gun Kelly! Send it, send it! What about at Hoyt's? One of the ads, they show an ad for Hoyt Cinema itself. And that's the only place I've ever seen an ad for Hoyt's. They're like, come down and experience Hoyt's. What do you think I'm doing? I'm here. Am I not sitting in B5? Am I not wielding a chop top? Am I not holding a chocolate top? Am I not about to desecrate another garment? That's one for the blokes. Oh, yeah. Bit of a geezer pleaser. Whoa. These blokes are positively buckling. We might have to strap them in. Dave! Have we got any vegans in the crowd? Oh, yeah. I'm vegetarian, but I want to become vegan, you know? And people always like, vegans! When I reckon really they should say, vegans. Like, whatever, I think it's the right thing to do. And it's so hard to make that switch, you know? It's hard. There's a lot of temptations. I was walking home the other day, this old lady came up to me. She said, do you want to eat an egg from a car? I said, oh, yeah, I said, oh, I don't know what you mean. She said, do you want to eat an egg from a car? I said, yeah, I am. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. She said, follow me, cunt. I followed her. We walked for ages. She was walking fast. She was paranoid. I would describe the glances she was giving me as conspiratorial. She led me to a car park. It was very, what's the word? Secluded. Is it? There were people everywhere. No, it was desolate. It was grimy. There was a car parked there. A Peugeot. Beautiful little car. Hatchback! French design. She walked up to it. She whispered. The car made a low rumbling sound in response. Then an egg popped out of the exhaust pipe. She said, you want that? I think you might. You look like you do. I said, yes, I want it so badly. Oh, a car egg. I said, but I don't know, is it ethical to eat an egg that came out of a car? Ooh, this is putting my moral compass into a spin. I need to think. She said, well, hurry up. There's plenty of blokes who want it. Suddenly, 50 guys came out of the alleyway. I think mostly hobbyists, but a few professionals. Usually I say, I think mostly professionals, but a few hobbyists. I guess either way, it doesn't make a great deal of sense. I ate the egg. I couldn't resist. It was disgusting. She said, what's the verdict? I said, honestly, it's one of the worst things I've ever eaten and you should be ashamed. She said, what do you expect? It's an egg that came out of a car. I said, I expected something a little more scrumptious for $160. $160 for a car egg. A car egg, 160. Imagine even 2 years ago telling someone you paid $160 for a car egg. They'd have you committed. Oh yeah, I've got a few things. I've got an eraser. So I own an eraser. It's half white, half blue. The white half, that's for pencil. No surprises there. The blue half, taking on the seemingly more formidable opponent of pen. Pen? Really? Yep, pen. Oh, my pen. Oh, yeah, pen as in pen from a pen. Oh, yeah. Now this I gotta see. You come back a bit later. White half. Any luck with that pencil? It has been eradicated. Mission accomplished. I have exercised any trace of the pencil. And a job well done as well. That looks great. Really good job. Thank you. Serving you has been the honour of my life. That's a very nice thing to say. Blue half. What's up, bitch? Okay, that's, first of all, none of that. Now, how'd you get on with that pen? Oh, the pen, yeah. I want to say, good. You took care of it? I took care of it. You got rid of it? Oh, you wanted me to get rid of it. I thought you wanted me to smear the pen everywhere. What have you done? No! I hope it wasn't an important document. My prenup! My prenuptial agreement! You blue bastard! Why, you're not fit for a bowerbird's nest! But if we're talking about stationery, we're talking about stationery. What's going on down at Officeworks? I feel like there's an immense disparity between the amount of general floor staff and the amount of greeters. Oh, you're sorted for greeters. So many greeters. Oh, Officeworks, thank you for this welcoming committee. Wow! Where are the general floor staff? Where are they? There's a paper jam, there's no one there. You got 5 cunts at the door saying g'day. Fiddling with their lanyards. I'm trying to print my manifesto. If you can hold a grudge, you can hold a machete. I'm just kidding. But every joke has a foundation of truth. I'm not getting many shifts these days. I work at Mitre 10. My boss has always given me a hard time. He says, you do not work here. You're not a Mitre 10 employee. You're not on the roster. You've never been on the roster. You'll never be on the roster. Stop coming in here and drawing faces on all the shovels. People are buying them. They're getting too attached. You want me to ring up the big boss? You want me to ring up Scott Cam? You want Scotty to come down here and bludgeon you with his lucky brick? I always struggled catapulting myself into the workforce. I had trouble with my resume. I had trouble with the word resume. You know at the top of the resume it says resume of Mr. Sam Campbell. There's things above the E's. I didn't know you needed them. No one told me about these things above the E's. The E's, they've got little... I didn't know about these things. No one told me about these things. I printed it out, I didn't have them. I went in, I said, oh, I'd like a job, please. The lady said, how dare you present me with a resume? We don't take resumes. Do you know where you are? This is Supre. We're all about the things above the ears. We like the things above the ears. You want to sell tank tops? You want to sell lip gloss? You want to sell boob tubes? I couldn't think of a soul in the world that would want to purchase a boob tube from someone like you. If you really want to get the edge on other applicants, you can always put together a cover letter. You ever do the cover letter? You got to pretend you're obsessed with this business you've never thought about before in your life. Oh, there's nothing more important to me than the sense of community down at Priceline Pharmacy. Oh, Priceline Pharmacy, please, I just want to join the Priceline Pharmacy family. Oh, I just want to be around the betadine. Oh, Priceline, take me now. I'm weak at the knees. Oh, Priceline. May I have permission to make your website my homepage? Priceline Pharmacy, take me now. And it goes on and on. This cover letter is 60 pages long. I think we ought to ring ASIO. This guy's got some weird and unusual notions. Wait, is that it? Sorry. Oh, I thought I was getting a light. I think it's just someone vaping. Didn't have that. The Sydney Olympics represent a very formative part of my life. The Sydney Olympics had 3 mascots. How the hell did they get away with that? 3 mascots. I looked it up. All the Olympics before that, they will only have 1 mascot. So this is our Olympics and this is our mascot. Sydney, we are going to need 3. We need 3. We need a platypus, we need a kookaburra, we need a very sexy echidna. With long, inviting eyelashes. Ooh, that echidna got me hot under the collar. Oh, I want to spend time with that echidna. I want to cosplay as a termite and see what happens. When we edit this, I want to use special effects so the microphone glows red whenever I yell. 3 mascots, 4! 2 monotremes and a bird, 3 egg-laying mascots. I just moved. People hate moving. I didn't find it stressful. I really enjoyed it. A couple of guys came around. Big guys, proper blokes, big units, moving men, movers. These guys could really move. I swear to God, they took a shine to me. They liked me. They respected me. They kept calling me Chief. I said, how are you, Chief? I said, me, Chief? I'm a very low status person. Boo! I'm a nasty, nasty cockroach. I'm a fanook. I'm a Hollywood Finocchio. These are big guys. They were carrying big stuff down the stairs. The fridge, the couch, a box full of 1,400 Bratz dolls. I was helping out, carrying my smaller items, the pedestal fan, my receipts. 3 at a time, bend at your knees. These guys came over, they started squeezing my arms. Look at the muscles on you. I said, stop it, I was giggling. I didn't grow up with brothers. I've got them now. You might not want to mess with us that much. They loaded everything into the back of the moving van. I didn't know much about this moving van. Forgive me, but I never looked into them. I didn't know much about these moving vans at the time. So I gave these guys my new address. And I don't have a car, I don't have wheels, so I said, I'll meet you there. I'll get an Uber. The guy says, an Uber? Yeah, I suppose you could get an Uber. Or you could always ride up front in the van with us. Pick up my jaw from the ground, yes please. Riding up front with my guys, where do I sign? These moving vans, they got a seat between the fellas, like a This is a stupid fucking crowd. There's a seat between the guys. Are you listening? It's for emergencies. There's a little seat. It's a whisper. It's for a guy. It's for a guy like me. I was crammed in there. I was squished in there. Ooh, they were sweating. I liked it. I still haven't washed my shoulders. I've been licking the build-up of salty brine. We stopped at a servo. I said, I'll grab us all some pesetos. They only had passiones. The guys didn't care. One of the guys said, a soft drink's a soft drink. How do you reach that level of acceptance and zen? We're driving along, we're hooning down Cleveland. We're setting records on Cleveland. This guy started cracking jokes. Really rude, highly offensive, totally inappropriate, blokey, boardy stuff. You know what I mean? The kind of stuff where I thought, oh, whoa, you're not allowed to say that anymore. I couldn't help myself. I was screaming with laughter. I said, if this is toxic masculinity, poison me to death. I'll die now. Take me now. Take me now, Anubis. Take me now, Anubis, you jackal-headed bastard. You slobbering lord of the netherworld, I am ready. Oh, the new place isn't really working out. It's my fault. I ate a crusket on my bed. Who knew the humble crusket could generate so much debris? I've eaten a muffin on my bed. That was fine. A muffin, that's a soft crumb. That's a soft crumb. That increases the value of the mattress. A crusket, that's a hard crumb. That is a shard. That's 1,000 daggers. I am lying in a savoury Chernobyl. You think you found the last bit of crusket? There's always more crusket. We will never reach crusket zero. You will never sleep again. Nobody told me this stuff. No one sat me down and said, listen, never eat a crusket on your bed. I didn't get an education. The system failed me. All I got was vague advice. Be yourself. I'm a wretch. Never give up. Please. Follow your dreams. They're illegal. I wish someone told me not to see the seal show at the Taronga Zoo. You wasted your time with this? Anyone seen the seal? There's big signs for it everywhere. Seal show this way. It's in a custom-built arena. 1,000 seats, 3 shows a day. I gotta tell you, it's nothing special. This seal show, the seals do a few good tricks. A lot of the stuff I could do, seriously. I could. The seals, they stink. They smell like wet clothes. The seal show is very informative. I would say, too informative. They say these seals don't have external ear flaps, and that's why it looks like they do not have ears. Yeah, that's great. How about you save that for the pamphlet? Don't put that in the fucking show. You built an arena for factoids? And then it gets really depressing really fast. Oh, by the way, all the seals are dying. We've got to save the seals. They're suffocating. They keep mistaking plastic bags for jellyfish. To be fair, we've all made that mistake. Oh my God, there's 5 loose jellyfish in the pantry. I was in the park, I saw this guy walking his dog. He made a jellyfish eat its shit. I hate the seal show. I've been banned from the seal show. Yeah, I've been banned. I kept going back, trying to sabotage the seals, shining my laser pointer into their eyes. Only 2 people have ever been banned from the seal show. Me and a woman called Francesca Martinez. And that was me as well. Wearing an elaborate disguise, doing a pretty iffy Portuguese accent. I want to be seeing him. I want to be seeing the seal. I lived in England for a spell last year. What a country. I love the royal family. I adore the royals. You know I'm actually in line? Not for the throne, but they said next time there's a royal baby, I can eat the placenta. Imagine the protein in a royal placenta. Gobble it up, eat it up, play for the Raiders, get strong. Get really strong. That guy's strong. Why is the Queen so serious? Does she ever get to veg out? Lighten up, Your Highness. You know, she's always like, you ever seen the Queen? She's like... Imagine if just once she went, yep. Prince Harry would be like, stop it, Mum, you're embarrassing me. She'd say, I'm not your mum. I am your grandmother. I had your mother killed. Too beautiful, had to die. My queen, there is a woman who is more beautiful than you. Who is she? Everybody loves her. She wears her hair short, but with layers. No, have her whacked. Too beautiful, had to die. I want Kristen Stewart to play me in a biopic. How many grandparents have you got left? 5. The Grand Slam. All right. Oh, wow. I was thinking, how could you even have 5, bud? Perhaps a child of divorce. It tears families apart. I got one left, the grand final. My grandma, she's not the most passionate person. You see, I got one of these Australian ones. You know, she just sits in the chair, she doesn't move her arms. I get jealous of these people. They got a cool, Mediterranean one. Right? They're not even called a grandma. They're like, oh, my nonna, my guamba, oh, my babamba, she makes the best gubamba. Oh, my yabibi, she makes the best babadook. Ooh. You sneak into a room and read her diary. You met Gaddafi? Da, da, da. My grandma's always whinging. I can't play bocce, I've got arthritis. She got kicked out of Hillsong for queefing. We don't have enough respect for the elderly people in our society. It's because they grow and then they stop and they get small again. They should just keep growing. No decay. Don't just keep growing. Why not? You know what I mean? The older you are, the wiser you are, the taller you are. They should be, oh, we should look up to them. It's not fair. You know, every birthday you should go up 2 meters. You're 90 years old, you're a giant. Ooh. Trampoline on the Optus store. Oh, you lied to me! Teach me how to use it! You're at the bowls club. Somebody fetch me a wheelbarrow full of fish oil tablets. Here you go, I love you. Shut up, my generation don't say that kind of thing. Are you Roman Catholic? Why not? My nephew is deeply troubled. I thought he was a sweet kid, but I took him to the Easter show. He wanted to get his face painted. They had a face painting store. I said, off you go. He got his face... I couldn't believe it. He got his face painted like a tiger. I said, oh, no. It was Tiger Woods. I said, that is incredibly inappropriate. What's gotten into you? That's my crazy, wacky nephew. That's my nephew, Chris Lilly. I was at the skate park, just talking to some kids. We're chatting away. This guy stops his car, runs out, marches up to me. He says, what are you doing? What's going on? Do you have your working with children check? I said, I don't want to work with them. I just want to fuck them. Hey, that's all I got. Thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, hey, what's going on?
Mama say, Morocco. Mama say, Morocco. Mamacita say, Mama say, Morocco. Mama say, Morocco. Marito nuevo para tu cielo beso. Mama say,
Hello. It's 2018. I'm in New York City, midway through an 8-week off-Broadway season of my show, Randy Writes a Novel, the soon-to-be pirated YouTube sensation. 8 weeks in New York should be a dream, right? Pinnacle of my goddamn career. But I feel like I'm doing the wrong show in the wrong theatre, and every night I grab my audience by the scruff of the neck and drag them unwillingly through my own existential nightmare. And I don't know if you've ever met anyone from New York City, but they don't tend to patiently endure the bullshit of others. I once had a homeless man in New York tell me to hurry the fuck up while I was handing him a dollar bill. So it's not going great. For added context, the show isn't the only horse meat currently feeding my black dog. Before I came out here, I split with my management company. I have no work lined up after this season. And last week, my girlfriend flew out here from Australia to break up with me in person. Yeah, I would have been fine with a phone call, but apparently it's much easier to kick a man while he's down if you're in the same fucking room. So she made the trek. This morning, I met a friend for brunch at a cafe in Greenwich Village that only serves oatmeal. The cafe is called Oatmeals. It's very good. My friend is also an Australian comedian performing here in New York City, and she's had her fair share of depressing career moments. So I was hoping for a little bit of sad sack solidarity. Unfortunately for me, Hannah Gadsby is having the breakout season of her career. Her show Nanette is selling out every night at the Soho Playhouse, her audience is filled with celebrities, and Netflix have just handed her a gift voucher for a lifetime's worth of cunnilingus. I, on the other hand, had 32 people in my Sunday matinee today, and 21 of them walked out during the show. 21! Not all at once either. Just a few at a time, in a steady, humiliating trickle, like people having their number called out in a fucking dally. It was the nonchalant disrespect that really broke me. About halfway through the show, an elderly woman in the front row started clipping her fingernails. We could all hear it. She did both hands, thumbs inclusive, then slowly got up, put her coat on and left. She clipped her fingernails and then left. Do you understand what that means? My show was less important to this woman than the speed at which her fingernails were growing. 10 fingernail clippings out of 10 is easily the worst review I've ever had. After the show, my theatre staff told me that she said she left because she thought there was too much swearing in the show. I mean, to be fair, I did call her a cunt, but... After the show, I step out of the theatre, turn right and walk 23 minutes down West 42nd Street to Grand Central Station. I purchase a ticket for the first train going north, which is a Hudson Line train to Poughkeepsie for those playing at home. I board the train, remove my jacket, take my seat and vow to never, ever, ever do comedy ever again. Opening song, that's what this is. You thought it was a comedy, now it's a musical. What the fuck is this? I was over there, now I'm right here. I've changed my clothes to signify that it's a different year. 'Cause this show happens over multiple timelines. Like a Tarantino film without the graphic homicides. And far fewer foot fetish moments. Except for this one. Check 'em out, boys. Opening song, written by me. A singing, dancing piece of shit that you all paid to see. You got it wrong. It's cabaret. Sucked in bad if you thought this would make a good first date. 'Cause this show is my goddamn magnum opus. You made the choice to be here, so you better fucking focus. And if you'd rather be at home with Married at First Sight, you get the hell out. There'll be no refunds.
Terms and conditions.
Come on! When purchasing a ticket, always review the event and seat selection. No exchange or refund for misplaced tickets or show content objections. Subject to no conditions. Consumer provisions. Price including taxes. No better tactic than backing out you're on crack if you drastically underestimate the power of the written code of practice. As a purple-genic cis man with an income and a platform, statistically I'm more likely to instigate a shitstorm. But I'm also much more likely to escape without reproach. The system is still stacked my way, that's why I think I can get away with an opening song. Opening song, that's what this is. Has a key change that's a little hit or miss. Opening song, right in your face. I couldn't give a flying fuck about my own fan base. I just wanted to sing an opening song. Fuck you. Sydney! Thank you! Thank you! My privilege is your pleasure. Thank you. Please take photographs. Thank you. Thank you so much. My comedy actually works best in photographs. Check it out. I could be saying anything. You're all a bunch of fuckheads. I'm gonna burn this shithole to the ground and move to the Gold Coast. Never judge a comedian by their photograph, my friends. Unless they're doing this on a billboard. Judge the fuck out of them if they're making those particular creative decisions. But if you want realistic shots of a comedy show, you have to take photos of the audience. That's what I'd prefer to see, to be honest, when I'm home after a gig, doom scrolling in the pitch darkness. Just shots of my audience just doing this. This isn't the Queen's Gambit. Oh, you sound like a good crowd. You sound like a real good crowd tonight. Very excited about this. Look at you all, you bloody champions coming out, wearing your masks. Good on you. Bloody love it. Actually, just out of interest, Sid Noon, give me a shout if you've never seen me in real life before. Make some noise.
Fascinating.
Laboratory tests have shown that humans, when meeting another human for the first time, automatically encode 3 key nuggets of information: age, race, gender. So, what the fuck's going on here? Encode this shit, newcomers. I think the 4th nugget of information we encode is, what is wrong with you? You know, like it goes like age, race, gender. What happened to your face? And sometimes people make it too easy for you to judge them. People with Southern Cross tattoos, or people who vape, or people who wear shorts, no socks, sunglasses, and a puffer jacket. You're either hot or you're cold, mate. You can't have both. Always wandering around judging people all of the time. I don't give money to homeless people because they spend it on drugs, she said, washing a Xanax down with a coffee on her way to a Botox appointment. It's a tricky time, my friends. It's a real tricky time. Tricky judgy time. We're living in a real tricky judgy time right now. Right now, Sydney. Tricky judgy time. What is it? It's fucking tricky. Tricky judgy time out there. Tricky. It's tricky time. Oh, living in a tricky time. Right now. Right now, it's a tricky time. Oh, Lord, yeah, tricky time. Living in a tricky time right now. Good Lord, yeah. Oh, tricky time. Hello there, what's your name? Am I looking right down the fucking aisle? I am. Fuck! Fuck! Jesus Christ. Bullshit. Hello there. Have the house lights just come on? That's fucking great. Trev's just turned the house lights on, though. That's going to make a difference. That's awesome. I'll just turn those on. He'll see them then, won't he? How about a hand for my text, Trev? What a champion. Get up for Zach on the sound. Yes. Okay, let's try take 2 on that. Hello there, what's your name?
Zane.
What?
Zane.
Zane with a Z?
Yep.
Hello, Zane. How are you, matey?
Yeah, I'm alright.
What did you do today, Zane?
Not much.
Not much. Give me something to fucking work with, Zane. Anything at all, my friend. Did you catch your bus? Did you put your pants on? Help me out, brother. What happened?
Caught the train here.
You what?
Caught the train here.
You caught the train here. See, there's something to work with. Zane's now given me a comedic premise. I can talk about trains. I can talk about the fact that he's got nothing else to do other than catch a train. We can deconstruct Zane's sad little life. Let's go back to Zane. Zaney! Woo! So where did you catch the train from, Zane? Where do you live, champ?
Cronulla.
Cronulla!
Yeah.
Someone went, eh. That is the best. I believe that is the international sound for Cronulla. Eh. Fucking meh. Eh. 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 That's how you call out each other in a crowd. Eh. 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 Fucking meh. Fucking meh. Good on you, Zany. You're a a champ. Hey, Zane, unrelated question. Roll with me on this. Just go with me. Bit of improv. How old do you think I am, Zane? How old do you reckon I am? And just have a little guess. How old do you think Randy is? How old, Zane?
Yeah, 20.
20? Oh, my God, thank you. Double it. I'm 40, Zane. 40 years of age. It's a good age, 40. I love it. 40's the new 36. Unless, of course, like me, you're single with no children, no mortgage, and no responsibilities whatsoever, then 40's the new 27. Casual sex and psychedelics are wasted on the young. Actually reminds me, this is a good segue. I'm trying to tap into the youths, so I've started my own podcast. Finally, putting out a podcast. People have been asking for ages, Randy, when are you doing a podcast? So I'm doing one. I was going to do one of those ones where comedians talk to other comedians about comedy, but I thought, you know what, that's almost too original. So what I'm doing now is a bit of a self-help kind of podcast. You all want to hear a sample? Yes. It's called The 40-Year-Old Fuckboy.
40-year-old fuckboy.
Welcome back to The 40-Year-Old Fuckboy. Is it a midlife crisis or a second Saturn return? Who knows? Today on the show, I'm going to be teaching you all how to overcompensate for that pesky childhood trauma by telling a woman you love her on a first date. But first, let's open Randy's fuckboy mailbag.
Randy's fuckboy mailbag.
For people who used to write letters. Today's letter comes to us from Trent from Glebe. Trent writes, I'm a 40-year-old rock climbing yoga instructor with a top knot who always wears loose trousers to really accentuate my dick flopping around. Until recently, my speciality was luring 36-year-old women from my yoga classes to join me for private tantra workshops. But now, I can't stop masturbating to trans porn. Should I get a Kelpie? Well, sounds like you really miss your mum, Trent. You should definitely get a Kelpie. Sheepdogs fucking thrive in the inner city. Coming up after the break on The 40-Year-Old Fuckboy, we're going to be talking to Joe Rogan about the relationship between psychedelic enlightenment and kicking cunts in the head.
40-year-old fuckboy. Is it a midlife crisis or a second Saturn return?
Get it wherever you get your podcasts.
Now, I know what you're thinking, Sydney. You're thinking, Randy, you're a 40-year-old, single, moderately successful comedian with ants in his car. Seriously, I have ants in my car. I don't know what to do about it. They form like their own society in the air vents. As a vegan, I feel bad killing them, but...
What kind of man has ants in his car?
Randy, tell us, what series of fucked up, unfortunate events led for you to turn out like this? Please skip over any major trauma and give us a light-hearted look into your undoubtedly sordid backstory. Well, I tell you what, Zane, if nothing else, that sounds like a great way to kill 47 minutes of this fucking show. So here, for the first time in Sydney town, I'm going to take you all back to where it all began.
Backstory.
I was born on the day Lindy Chamberlain's baby was eaten by a dingo. 'Twas August, in the year of our Lord 1980. God Save the Queen was still Australia's national anthem. We were 9 years away from joining the global internet, and "Me too" was a phrase most often used in response to the statement, "I think women belong in the kitchen." My earliest childhood memories are a colourful montage of drunk adults eating corn on the cob while staring into the middle distance. The sound of cockatoos ricocheting off red brick houses. The innocence of youth shrouded in thick clouds of second-hand cigarette smoke. At the tender age of 5, I arrived at St. Mary's Catholic Primary School, where I met my new best friend, Jesus Christ! If you're unfamiliar with his work, he pissed off the wrong people in Israel a couple of thousand years ago. So now we have Christmas and hell. Which, depending on your family, can be the same thing, am I right? I'm doing relatable material to find common ground with my audience. At age 7, I made my first Holy Communion, where I ate of the body of my new best friend, Jesus Christ, who I'd been reliably informed was brutally murdered because I had been naughty before I was born. You see, only the Catholics laugh at that. Everyone else is like, that can't be right. It is! That's how they get you! Immediately following my first Holy Communion, I had my first menthol cigarette. Menthol cigarettes. There's a burning tube of toothpaste in my lungs and everyone's inverted. Catholicism taught me the difference between right and wrong and left no doubt in my mind that right was boring and wrong was fucking hilarious. My proudest childhood achievement is the fact that I was the first kid in the 100-year history of St. Mary's Catholic Primary School to receive an after-school detention. Literally moments after-school detentions were first introduced. The vice principal, Mr. Burke, he pulled all of the students together for this very stern lecture about discipline and the fact that these after-school detentions would act as a deterrent for disrespectful behaviour. And at the end of his very stern lecture, in the silence that followed, I gave him a slow clap. And he gave me a detention. And once I realised that the dopamine hit attached to being a smartass far outweighed any of the repercussions,
There was no turning back.
Okay, grade 1s. Bit of shush, please. Our next oral presentation is from Randy Feltface, who will be reading his oral presentation on this year's bicentennial of Australia.
Thank you, it's great to be here, grade 1s. How about a hand for everybody's favourite nun, Sister Dimpner? Sister Dimpner's uniform is looking a little scruffy today. I guess it's just one of her bad habits. Okay. Apparently, Sister Dimpner walks 20 miles before school every morning. I guess that's why they call her a Roman Catholic. I've got lots of these grade 1s. Please get on board. This year is 1988, which is the bicentenary of Australia. Knock, knock. Colin. Colonisation. Only joking. Colonisers don't knock before they come in. Aboriginal people had lived in Australia for thousands of years before it was discovered by Portuguese sailors in the 1500s. Then it was discovered by Dutch explorers in the 1600s. Then it was discovered by Captain Cook in 1770. I don't know how a place can be discovered if there are already people living there, but I still use Velcro shoelaces, so what would I know? Which reminds me, what is Australian history's most famous ship? Censorship! Pew, 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 pew. Cutting edge material for the late 80s. Pew, 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 pew. Oh, pew, 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 pew. On the 26th of January, 1788, Captain Arthur Phillip hosted the first ever barbecue for him and his crew and the 850 criminals he brought with him. We don't celebrate it as a national holiday yet, but those colourful criminals with their rich tapestry of fantastic backstories would go on to be the founders of a surprisingly boring society. Which reminds me, why did the insomniac get sent to the Australian penal colony? They were resisting arrest. I'm only 7, Jesus. Now it is 200 years later. There are 16 million people living in Australia. Bob Hawke is our Prime Minister, and you can buy a 3-bedroom house in Sydney for $90,000. Yeah, just let that sink in for a second. To celebrate the bicentennial, Brisbane is hosting Expo 88, which will no doubt be the most interesting thing to happen in Brisbane for the next 200 years. In summary, sovereignty was never ceded, but sausages are on special. Thank you. I'll see you all at the monkey bars after the show.
If you are a parent of young children, chances are you have already done or said the thing that will be the direct cause of your child's worst adult moment. And the best part is they won't even realise it's your fault. But you'll know. You'll be sitting there at the back of the courtroom, just shamefully watching the cross-examination. So tell us, again, in your own words, Zane, you took a shit in a mailbox and then punched a police horse? And your mum's at the back of the courtroom going, oh my God, it's because of that time I put curdled milk into his Fruit Loops and still made him eat them. It all makes sense now. Difficult being a parent. Don't envy that job. Do not envy it at all, you know? I mean, I grew up in a very loving home. Very loving parents. Never wanted for anything. Happy Pants, hypercoloured T-shirts, Ninja Turtles, Michael Bolton, etc. And yet it's very easy to blame your parents for your own dysfunction. Particularly if they're boomers. Oh my God! What's to be done with the boomers? Too many opinions, not enough computer literacy. They're all getting radicalised by Facebook. No more screen time for the boomers. Internet's a scary place for the best of us. They're all running around in their sensible polo shirts trying to figure it out. Get them out of there! I mean, I find it challenging. I'm sure we all do, you know? You wake up first thing in the morning and someone's like, oh, hey, what's your fully formed opinion on this incredibly complex social issue that you just learned about 5 minutes ago? Quick, type it into your phone so the rest of us can tell you to fuck off and die. The confidence of people on the internet is truly astonishing. Imagine the self-belief it takes to tell someone you've never met before that you hope they get fucked by a chainsaw. I mean, what a consequence-free life you must have led up until that point. The kid that jumped off the roof onto the trampoline and didn't break their arm. Oh my God, you're invincible. I bet one day you could be the Attorney General. I'm at a point where... Oh, get fucked, Sydney. I'm outraged at that asset. Why would she lie? Get fucked. We have to never forget that knowledge travels faster than the speed of self-righteousness. Like, your opinions are kind of worthless if they're unbendable over time, you know? You've got to be willing to change your opinions, learn new information, adapt, fucking keep step with the knowledge. You have to be more like the algorithms that absorb all of your online activity to the point where you just have to think about buying a yoga mat and one smashes through your kitchen window. And if you're unhappy, you know, just fucking change. If you have the means to change. If you don't have the means to change, that's a terrible situation. I feel awful for you, but you probably do. I mean, if you're here, you know, can afford to come and see this shit, you could probably change. Might be the hardest thing you've ever done. Might take ages. But please, for the love of God, if you're unhappy, fucking change. Because quite frankly, you being miserable is ruining it for the rest of us. Yelling at me in traffic because you married an arsehole, just end your marriage. You're killing the fucking vibe out here. Geez, I can't wait till we retire so we can hate each other in a camper van instead. I've always wanted to yell at you in a camper van. Travelling only broadens your horizons if you're open to having your horizons broadened. Otherwise, you're just the same dickhead in a different deck chair. It's astonishing how quickly the intensity and density of New York City melts away behind me as the train winds its way along the bank of the Hudson River. Urban grey makes way for forest green, and as the train pulls in at Cold Spring Station, I feel myself starting to wake up for the first time in months. Have you ever washed clothes at the same time as a duvet cover? And then when you take the duvet cover out of the washing machine, all the clothes are somehow inside the duvet cover. And you have to climb in the duvet cover, get all wet from the duvet cover, just to rescue your little ball of clothes from the bottom corner of the duvet. The last few months, I feel like I've been stuck inside a duvet cover in a washing machine. And as we pull in at Cold Spring Station, it feels like someone's reached in and yanked me out of the bottom corner of the duvet. I wander up the quaint little main street of Cold Spring, and my brain is having trouble processing the fact that I was in a cultural melting pot of 8 million people an hour and a half ago, and now I appear to have stepped onto the set of an episode of Whitey McWhiteson Goes to Whitopia. But I catch myself being elitist, and I hate being elitist, so I stop and I say hello to a man who's walking his dog, and he hears my Australian accent and starts telling me that this is the town that Don McLean lived in when he wrote the song American Pie. Realising that I was right to be elitist, I wish the man a speedy death and continue up the hill. Did you hear that? Was that back there? What was that? Back to the story. I find a hotel, eat a bowl of soup, and fall into a deep sleep. In my dream, I'm 8 years old, lying in bed in the spare room at my grandparents' house, listening to pigeons cooing on the windowsill, waiting for everybody else to wake up. My grandmother leans in through the doorway. Good morning, chum. Hi, Nanny. Penny for your thoughts? I could have done better, you know. I've had everything handed to me and I haven't done anything with it. Well, you can either lie there carrying on like a two-bob watch, or you can pull up your britches and get out of your own way. Thanks, Nanny. Right, up you pop. I'll make you some yeast on toast. Yum! It's still dark when I wake up in Cold Spring, and it takes me a good 7 minutes to locate the switch for the bedside lamp. I'm constantly baffled by lamp manufacturers who think it's terribly clever to conceal the most important feature of a fucking lamp. Without a switch, it's just a shit sculpture. I feel like I'm always rifling around up the skirt of some lamp or another. Lost track of the number of times I've had to send my hand on a deadly spelunking mission down the back of a motel room bed to trace my way along the lamp cord, dodging tumbleweeds of pubic hair and navigating navigating a minefield of discarded prophylactics. Only to find out later you're supposed to knock 3 times, turn in a circle and provide a stool sample before it turns on. Sick of laps! That is the message of this show! No more laps! Oh my God, I'm the missing link. Super spreader. Run! Run! I get dressed and I step out into the crisp dawn just as the sky is starting to yellow out in the east. Cool, clean air fills my lungs. And this scene would be picture perfect if I could just get Don McLean's fucking American Pie out of my head. A leisurely 15-minute stroll later, and I'm at the entrance to the Hudson Highlands Nature Reserve. I rest my face against the mossy bark of an enormous oak tree, take a moment to synchronise myself with my surroundings. I inhale, step into the forest, and plan never to return. Yeah. I realise, based on the stunning silence that occurred during that blackout, that it's a bit stupid having flashbacks from 2018 when you clearly know what happens at the end. It's like, oh my God, what's going to happen? He's going to do a show in Sydney in 2 years. Surprise! Fucking spoiler alert! Clearly, I changed my mind about quitting comedy at some point. And that's all right. It's good. It's good to change your mind. I do it all the time. Constantly changing my mind. Changing my opinions. Gotta do it. Gotta change those opinions. Old Randy, fucking changey pants over there. Always changing his fucking mind, isn't he?
When was the last time you changed your mind? Sometimes you've just gotta try new things. See what happens. For example, I've never done this at this point in the show before.
Gotta try new things. Gotta change your opinions. Well, give us an example, Randy.
Who said that?
All right, I'll give you a fucking example, Sydney. Drugs! Drugs! I don't do drugs. My privileged opinion of drug use is that productivity is more important than escapism. And also, I'm wired in such a way that if I even so much as look at a drug, I will be doing speed off a strip club toilet seat within 2 to 3 hours. So my opinion is, I should not do drugs. But then I went to Canada. Anytime you walk down the street in any Canadian city, you're constantly getting crop dusted with clouds of delicious smelling marijuana smoke because weed is legal there. So people walk around punching blunts like they're at a fucking folk festival. I was in Quebec City for 2 days and I started following pot smokers down the street like a cartoon character floating towards a pie on a windowsill. So I changed my opinion and decided I should do drugs. Has anybody here actually been to Quebec City? Anyone? It's a beautiful part of the world, isn't it? Bit confusing. French-speaking Canadians ruled by the Queen of England. Pick a fucking lane, Quebec. But I was doing shows there and I was like, I'm not going to seek drugs out, but if somebody offers me drugs, I'll definitely take them. And sure enough, after a show one night, I was approached by some youths some youths approached me and they offered me a brownie. Now, they're very fond of edible drugs in that part of the world. The pot brownie and the hash cookie and the weed cake and the wacky tobacco toasted sangy. And these youths offered me a brownie the size of a fucking John Grisham novel. So I said, yes! Thank you, youths! And I took it back to my hotel room and I put on some comfortable trousers, put a bit of King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard on Spotify. And I haven't done drugs for about 9 years at this point, so I didn't want to go too hard. So I just broke off a tiny corner of this massive brownie and just had a little yum. Just a little shnoomity shnum. Tiny little. Because I didn't want to go too hard. But then, after like 10 minutes, nothing happened. So I ate the whole thing. Really fast. Like there were cops at the door. I was like, huh? And then I Googled how long it normally takes for a pot brownie to kick in. Does anybody want to share with the class how long it normally takes for a pot brownie to kick in? Does anybody know?
About an hour?
Yeah, about an hour. And I was like, oh, I'm going to die in this hotel room. I started getting my affairs in order, cancelled my subscriptions to Yoga Glow and Chatterbait, started putting a PowerPoint presentation together for my own funeral service. And then, after like 75 minutes, I realised it was just a fucking brownie. Like just a regular old drug-free chocolate brownie, lovingly prepared by the youths of Canada, just to be fucking innocently distributed amongst the tourists. So now, my opinion is, Canadians are fucking idiots.
Me again. Hello. Am I your favourite part of the show so far? I'm very cute, aren't I? I'm also massively racist. Yeah, I mean, you know, babies, without exception, prefer faces of their own race. It's just how we come out. It's all like that. And if you're sitting there going, my baby's not racist, I'm talking specifically to you and your goddamn racist baby. I suppose up until this point in my life, no one's really given me an alternative to that perspective. You know, everybody from the church to, hey, it's Saturday, pretty much reinforces the idea that different means worse. Which is probably why I'm also quite homophobic, I think. That one's a real bummer, because I'm actually attracted to some of the boys in my class. I've even fooled around with a couple of them. But it's pretty clear that sort of thing is frowned upon. And I'm also attracted to a couple of the girls, so I think I'm just going to put all of my eggs in that basket for now. Save myself from the inevitable ridicule, you know. I'm still just a little sponge, you know. Sponge. Just taking everything in, spongety sponge. Forming my little opinions. Oh, spongety sponge. You know, people say all sorts of things around me, and while I don't expect to be protected from reality, sometimes it'd be good to get an explanation to go along with what I'm witnessing. Words have an impact, you know? And a single word can have a vastly different impact depending on which side of the fence it lands. The word freedom is often used to imprison. The word settlement might mean birthright to an Israeli and unlawful military occupation to a Palestinian. The word gluten might mean limited menu choices for a handful of people and hilarity for the rest of us. I suppose I'll either settle for these inherited belief systems when I'm older, or actually do a bit of compassionate investigation and consider the alternatives. I don't know. Who knows? You know? It's a lot to think about, really.
probably a bit much, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know.
Was that a racist baby? The timing of that was exquisite. It's hard being little, isn't it, baby? You know, it's tricky, it's hard. There's a lot of choices to make and a lot of pressure, you know? Spongety sponge, you know? I mean, I want to be successful when I grow up. I want to make my parents proud, you know? I want to be happy. I want to be a good person. I want like a good job. I want a house, a wife, kids. These are things that I'm told make a successful grown-up. I don't want to be one of those adults that has ants in their car. I wandered directionless through the trees for a few hours, thinking about what it means to belong to a place. This forest is foreign to me, but I feel at home here somehow. I actually feel more at home when I'm not at home, which either proves that home is a state of mind, or maybe that I don't really feel like myself where I come from. I don't know if that's true, actually. I mean, I grew up in country Victoria, but you wouldn't know it, really. I don't know what my relationship to country is, you know? I mean, occasionally I give people directions using compass points, if that counts. I hate it when people in the country do that. Righto, matey, what you want to do, you just want to head east for about 20 clicks and then take a south to southwesterly bearing. All right, Galileo. Just give me some landmarks and some street names. I'm not taking the King's Road into battle. I'm trying to get to Best and Less, you dickhead. You know, I think Australia is an incredible country, but the overall feel of the place often elicits the same response in me as that 7-year-old boy slow clapping his way into a detention. You know, I just want to shake it up a bit. We paint ourselves as lovable larrikins, but we're extremely fucking uptight. I think we repress or reject a lot of the interesting parts of this place. The edge, the friction, the variety, you know? The truths that we're constantly protecting ourselves from. That lucky country bullshit that's built on the misfortune of others. I mean, look at who's running the country. It's pretty gross. The entitlement's pretty disgusting. And that's not a political statement, that's just like human observation. Yucky poos, you know what I mean? Look, if you don't need to consider any life experience other than what's happening on your own little quarter-acre block, or if you can see a doctor whenever you need to see a doctor, and no part of your brain is reserved for processing if you're in danger, or even where you actually fit in a culturally complex system, I don't necessarily begrudge you any of that, but I don't want to hear your opinion on immigration policy. Like, you don't get a seat at the table if you're ambivalent about babies in detention, but have time to openly weep while watching the MasterChef finale. I stopped to relieve myself against a small stone wall in the undergrowth and discovered that I'm actually standing on the edge of a swimming pool. It's the ruins of a swimming pool. It's full of leaves and fallen branches and shit, but it's unmistakable in its aquatic origins. I look around, and slowly it dawns on me that I am standing in the middle of the abandoned ruins of the Cornish estate.
Edward Joel Cornish was born in Iowa in 1862. He was practicing law by the age of 21, climbed his way up to assistant district attorney, and became the personal lawyer and friend of a man by the name of Levi Carter of the Carter Lead Company. Carter's Lead Works was like the largest manufacturer of paint in the United States. We're talking a good 60 years before people recognised that lead poisoning from paint and airborne particles from leaded petrol causes learning difficulties, aggressive behaviour, and a tendency to believe whatever you read on the Facebook. When Levi Carter died in 1903, Edward Cornish became the president of the company and married Levi's widow, Selena. As they say in the lead business, you can't cut a dead man's lunch. I'm keeping that fucking line, I don't care what you think. Edward sold the company to National Lead. He bought a giant chunk of stocks and he ended up serving as president of National Lead for like 17 years. And in that time, he and Selena left the city and they purchased this grand estate in the Hudson Hills. They bought it from a Chicago diamond merchant named Sigmund Stern. And I fucking wish I made that detail up because Sigmund Stern, the diamond merchant, sounds like a character from a Scooby-Doo episode. Well, I'm Sigmund Stern and somebody's been stealing all of my diamonds. That bit was just for the racist baby. Edward and Selena were madly in love. They threw lavish parties in their expansive mansion and they rolled through the roaring 20s in lead-funded style. Then one day in 1938, at the impressive age of 76, Edward Cornish dropped dead at his desk from a heart attack. Over the following 2 weeks, Selena took care of the arrangements. She made sure Edward had a proper send-off, and then she died herself. The mansion and the grounds were passed on to Edward's nephew, Joel, who spent the next 20 years largely ignoring his aunt and uncle's prized legacy until accidentally setting fire to the mansion in 1958 and burning it to the ground. And here I am, 60 years later to the day, standing in the ruins of Edward and Selena's dream home, the charred remains of a shared life. All that was once important to these people, reclaimed by the forest. Good. Fuck 'em! Who cares? These are the kind of stories that we give weight and value to. This is the measure of success that we're fed. Every history book in the world tells a version of this fucking fairy tale, but who gives a shit? It's easy to lose perspective when you're swaddled in safe narratives. I bought it. Like, I'm achieving a lifelong dream right now, performing my own comedy show off-Broadway in New York, and it is the worst thing that's happening to me right now. I could not be taking it any more personally. The fucking entitlement of that. That is privilege. Privilege is not an abundance of opportunity, it's an absence of obstacles, right? And the best I can hope for, if I use that privilege for all it's worth, is that one day my legacy will lay in ruins in a forest somewhere and some kid will stumble upon it while pissing on the ashes. And standing there, I burst into hysterical laughter and I turn around and I start running, crashing my way through the forest back towards the train station, plotting my revenge on the theatre-going crowds of New York City. The rest of the season was just as shit. It didn't get any better. They fucking hated me. But my attitude slowly improved, right? And I came back to Australia and I made myself a promise that if I ever got an opportunity like that again, I would get out of my own way. And I didn't have to wait long because 2019 was arguably the best year of my career. It was the most fun, I was the most present, I had a fucking great time. And it started with a magical telephone call. Stand by for a chilling reenactment. Bring. Bringity fuckity bringity bring. Hello? Hey, Randy, it's Hollywood. Oh my God, Hollywood's on the phone. Hi, Hollywood. Hey, Randy, we love what you do. You are funny, and believe us, we know funny. But tell me, Randy, why have you never done a reality television program? Ah! Oh, come on, Randy. Reality television's not the shame factory it once was. And what is reality if not a commodity? And what is entertainment if not a competition? Here, listen to me, Hollywood. I am not a shill to be bought and sold like a common Pop-Tart. I say good day to you, Hollywood. We will pay you a wage, cover your airfare, and guarantee you a 1-year working visa. Shut up and kiss me, Hollywood. No. That's exactly how it happened. That, my friends, is how I signed on to be a contestant on NBC's feel-good hit of the summer, Bring the Funny, a reality television program in which comedians were competing for $250,000 US dollars. Spoiler alert! I did not win. I did have a really nice time, though. I met some wonderful people, I told a few jokes, and I made it out of there with my anal virginity largely intact. The only time it got a little bit intense was while we were filming the reality portion of the show. Now, they call the interviews with contestants on these reality shows reality. That's what they call the reality bit, right? All the reality shows have them. You know what I'm talking about? Like, and then I thought, well, this souffle is never going to rise. I just want to make my kids proud. Kelly is such a slut! All that, right? They shoot it, they edit it, and they turn the contestants into characters. So you at home can invest in the character and give a shit whether or not they win or lose. Now, everybody on the show gets assigned a story producer. The story producer's job is to make the contestant look interesting, like they've got a compelling backstory. And my story producer fucking hated me. Because you've seen my backstory, it's not good television, you know, there's no drama. And she snapped, 3 weeks in, she just snapped. After me giving her smart-ass responses to every delving question, she just went, Randy, where is the heart? Where is the drama? Where is the hook? And I said, there isn't any. I tell jokes for a living and I sleep like a fucking baby. And she snapped in front of the entire crew and grabbed me by the arm and dragged me off set. And everybody went, ooh. She pulled me out onto the back lot. We were shooting at Universal Studios in Burbank, in California, and she shoved me into a golf buggy, because they all drive around in these little golf carts. She got in and started driving, and I was like, where are we going? And she said, shut the fuck up! And I went, oh, I'm being fired. And this icy feeling just settled in my stomach, and I started sweating and I started shaking, and I was like, oh fuck, I blew it. I just smart-assed my way out of another opportunity. I got here, this is it, they're gonna kick me off the lot, I'm never gonna work in America again, my name's gonna be dragged through the mud, oh my God, look, there's the Jaws ride. We went through 3 security checkpoints and then 1 massive security checkpoint, and we drove out into this giant courtyard, surrounded on all 4 sides with huge concrete walls, with murals of movie stars painted on all the walls. Ingrid Bergman, Marceline Day, Audrey Hepburn, and Val Kilmer for some reason. In the middle of the courtyard, there was an enormous swimming pool, a bar with a bartender, and she looked at me and said, get the fuck out. So I got out and she just drove off. So I started walking towards this swimming pool, where in the middle of the pool there was a huge, fat, bald man with sunglasses floating on an inflatable pink flamingo. And as I got to the edge of the pool, he lowered his sunglasses and said, I hear you're having trouble finding a backstory, young man. And I said, yes, sir, I don't really have any drama to draw from. And he said, well, you are contractually obligated to find some drama, young man, so hop to it. He nodded to the bartender. The bartender pressed a button on the bar, and suddenly 2 doors opened, one at either end of the courtyard. And out of one of them burst Jason Statham, wielding an axe, naked, covered in baby oil. He just looked at me and said, do whatever it fucking takes! Ah! And I went, ah! And I started running towards the other door, and he was gaining on me, and the man in the pool said, "Don't come back without a little drama." And I leapt through the door, and it slammed shut behind me, and the axe went into the door. And then I was plunged into pitch darkness, and I crawled on my hands and knees for what felt like an eternity through spiders and mud and rats and shit, until finally I emerged from underneath the Hollywood sign, blinking in the blazing Californian sun. And I started to panic. I was like, oh my God, I need a backstory. I don't have a backstory. My parents are still alive. I was never molested. I don't support the troops. What am I gonna do? And then I noticed that there was like a 5G mobile telephone tower, and I read somewhere that they like kill bees or something. So I was like, oh, maybe that will give me radiation poisoning. That's a good angle. So I started rubbing myself against this tower. And while I was rubbing myself against the tower, I woke up a homeless man who was sleeping at the foot of the tower, and I was like, he's bound to have a communicable disease, right? So I started sucking his dick, right? So while I was bobbing away on this homeless man's rancid cock, he started to tell me a story. He said, you know, I was on season 2 of America's Got Talent. What they don't tell you when you leave is that you're too famous to go back to your job, but not famous enough to be actually famous, so no one will hire you. Faster. You think you're gonna be the person on reality television that everybody loves, but that's not why we watch. We watch for the failures. We look for the flaws. Deciding winners based on a public voting system has given these morons the illusion of power. They don't know how to handle that power, so they take to Twitter and they say awful things, and they ruin the hopes and dreams of people more talented than they will ever be. And I said, you're right, old man. I don't need to change my image to suit the unrealistic expectations of some imaginary audience. I can make it in Hollywood on my own terms. So I turned around and I ran all the way back to the studio, and I got there just as they called my name to go out on stage, and I went out there and I smashed it. 3.5 minutes of bulletproof comedy gold, and the crowd went wild. And then I realized I was still in my hotel room, and there was definitely weed in that brownie. Closing song, that's what this is. Start edging towards the exit if you're busting for a piss. Closing song, hold your applause. My contract is in violation of child labour laws. I think I've learned a valuable life lesson. Really? Yep. When you've got it good, you've got to count your fucking blessings. And when you've got it bad, you can just blame your childhood. Nice. Blame your parents, blame religion, blame the fact that you're misunderstood. In a closing song, a closing song. Closing song, a closing song. Good night, Australia.
Anyway, let's talk about something a bit more uplifting. The other day I saw my ex's new husband wearing a V-neck. Yeah. It's good to have a win, isn't it? Such a dickhead, didn't even see me there behind the bins. My ex left me for a dude with a Porsche and a pizza restaurant. Yeah. And I went and tried his pizza. Do you know how fucking humiliating that is? To go over it? Because I want us to get along. It's best for my son. So I went over there. He's a pizza chef. We're bonding. He makes me a pizza, gives me a slice. He's like, what do you think? I was like, it's fine. You know what I mean? Because I didn't want to give him anything. But on the inside, I was like, I would suck this dude's dick for another slice. It all makes sense now. It all makes sense. Do you know how awkward it is? We live in the same suburb, so I run into them. Do you know how fucking awkward it is to run into your ex and the new guy around? The other day I'm walking with my mate Dan, and over the road is my ex, the new guy, and my son all having dinner. And my son sees me and goes, Daddy, come over. Get into this. Get into this fucking social nightmare. Get in here. I mean, it's sweet, right? But he's not a diplomat, is he? Get into this fucked situation. And I'm with my mate Dan. Now, Dan, he's not autistic. He's something. You know what I mean? I'm like, you stay here. We don't want you in the fucking mix. So I go over and he's in the bus stop reading the timetable or whatever, and whatever it is he's busying himself with. And I go over and, I've got to be happy to see everybody. I'm a parent. I can't be like, hey, buddy, good to see you and you two fuckheads, what's up? You know what I mean? I'm a parent. I've got to be like, wow, look at it. This is so great. We're all together. Wow. And the new guy's sitting there. He's wearing a suit and he's talking about how he's opened his third restaurant and his Porsche is parked right there. And I've been writing with Dan. My notebook was just open on the table. And he's like, what have you been working on? And it just says, suck his dick for another slice. That's just circled. You don't want to miss that bit. It's a good line. So it's just like, suck his dick. Yes, you must. That bit. And he does that thing where he pretends he didn't read it. You know how people do that? He goes, suck his dick. Oh, I can't even take it in. It's too much. And then my son sees Dan, who he knows, over the road. Dan's here. Come over. I'm like, great, let's bring Dan over. Dan's over the road eating a tub of jelly beans that he bought from home. That's weird, isn't it? Why is that weird? Just a man who's 35 years old, just on the street. Just all one colour, just yellow jelly beans, yellow. So now Dan comes over and he just walks straight over to the table and goes, hey, how come everyone's so awkward? Like he just says it. And I'm so uncomfortable at this point. I'm like, who wants a jelly bean? Dan's like, have one, there's 27. So I'm in a poly relationship now. I just found out. It's good when you find out, isn't it? Because polyamory is so popular now with young people, particularly young people. And people give young people today more shit than any generation. You know what I mean? It's not fair. Look, if I were to describe young people today, I would describe them as hypersexual environmentalists. That's the best way to... Is that bad? Because everything is sexual and political with young people. Everything's like, save the koalas. It's you, man. Isn't it? Everything's sexual and political. Everything's like, hey guys, my pussy's wet, but there's a drought in Uganda. Guys, seriously. It's you. That's what you post, man. Isn't it? Hey guys, this is a picture of my erection, sure, but it's exactly the same shape as the missiles Israel launches into Palestine. Wake the fuck up. Raise your fist into my ass for workers' rights. Stop racism. Stop it. Stop racism and sexism. It's bad. I care. People are prejudiced. You know what I'm talking about. Like you guys, like you're young, you know, you post shit like, hey guys, before I begin this tutorial on deep throating, I'd like to acknowledge your traditional elders. You. Of this share house. A lot of it's mental illness. It is. A lot of it's mental illness. A lot of it's mental illness. And, you know, we're in an epidemic of narcissism. An epidemic of narcissism. Nobody cares. Narcissism is fucking tearing our society apart. Nobody cares. Like, Are You Okay Day? Do you ever ask a narcissist? Nah, fuck that. Not that one. Yuck. Not that mental illness. We don't even have a fucking day for narcissism. We should be raising awareness. Should be like, wear a little mirror for Narcissist Day. They can't even check themselves into a mental health clinic. What are they going to do? Hey, I'm here to check myself in because I'm fucking the best. Yeah! Woo! Like doing the moonwalk and shit. Yeah, sick. I'm the best. Look at my abs. I'm sick. I'm fucking sick. My dad is like, oh, your generation, you know, you guys are the most mentally ill generation of any ever. I'm like, man, fucking boomers are so mentally ill, but they have fucking no idea or self-awareness. Like, we have too much self-awareness, our generation and younger. You know, we're like, okay, that's a tinge of anxiety. That's a tinge of anxiety, and that's developing into a depressive episode. Great. Now I'm depressed. Now I've got to go to work and I'm disassociating. Hey guys, disassociating, loving that. This is great. Love the disassociation. Then I get to work and I've got a trauma bond with my boss because he's gaslighting me, so I can't self-soothe. That's affecting my serotonin, so that's horrible for the ADHD. Whereas boomers, you guys are just like, feel something, then anger. That's it. Just like, I think I'm sad. Why can't I find a park? Fuck! That's it. I think I'm alone. Fucking political correctness, crazy, My dad has spent his whole life running from himself. His whole fucking life. What's going on? Get the car, get the dog. We're going to the beach now. Can relax, Dad. We're on holidays. We could be on holidays faster. Dad treats life like a race. It's like a fucking job to get done. Get born, grow up, meet someone, get married, have kids, retire, dead. Good, done. Done, good. Life's done. Good. What's next? Looks like the afterlife needs a mow. Let's mow the afterlife. Let's get that job done. Dad never looks inward. He's just going, you won't get me, life. I'm fucking going too quick to feel. You won't catch me. I wish I was like that, you know, just running through life, leaving a wake of mentally ill children behind me. My dad was a racing car driver. That's what he wanted to be. That's why his nerves are fucking shot, because he tried to do that. My brother, that's how my brother got into motorsport. My brother, Will, is an IndyCar driver over in America. He actually just won the world championship for IndyCar. How crazy is that? Yeah. Sure. Yeah. He drove so fast in a circle. He won. Like, he had the best fucking circle. I didn't watch, but apparently I went to my uncle who watches all of it. He's like, it was a good one. Like, he had the best circle on the day. You follow IndyCar? Yeah. So he had the best circle of the year. And they gave him the badge or whatever, the trophy. And so And that's not funny. That's like, man, you're fucking risking your life to get the best circle. Like, I reckon it's fucking impressive. But he's actually the greatest driver in the history of the entire sport, like statistically, you know? Like when you play the PlayStation game, man, he's the dude you select. Yeah, I select him and drive repeatedly into the wall. It's to overcome childhood trauma. But you know, he can die doing his job. You know, I can die as well, but it's an internal. I have died many times on the inside, but he actually dies, and so that makes makes you like Will's very profound. Like he's very philosophical. Like he said something really profound to me when he won the world championship. He said, "You know what, bro? Everything I've dreamed of having since I was a kid, I have right now." And he goes, "You know what? It doesn't make you any happier." He said, "In fact, it can make you sadder because everything we're told in this society will make you happy doesn't. And when you get it and you realise that, it can make you really depressed." And he looked me right in the eyes as he said this, and I'll never forget it. He goes, "You know what success is? Success is being in the moment more often with your friends and family." He said, that's success. And he looked me right in the eyes as he said it. And he just started that Ferrari up. And he flicked me a small diamond because he has a pouch of diamonds now from the championship. I don't know if that's part of it. And he flicked me a diamond and took off because I'm not allowed to sit in that particular car. But and he started doing circles, and they were perfect. I was like, fucking, it all makes sense, you know, like. But in a lot of ways, I feel sorry for my dad, you know, because like things for the older generation, like things are changing so fast. You know, like my dad posted a Facebook status the other day, and the status was, "How do I log into my Facebook?" That's how fucking confused he is about the world. Like, how do I log into my Facebook? And I'm like, "You're in, dude. Trust me, you're in." But that'll be us. We'll be fucking retiring. There'll be technology we don't understand. You know, like they're already talking about connecting your brain to the internet. That'll be us. We'll forget to put a thought on private. And you'll accidentally send out big butt sluts dressed as nuns to your whole contacts list. Someone the other day on my Facebook shared a Nike ad, which made me really angry. I hate that shit because like it was like a woke, you know those woke Nike ads? It was like a pregnant African woman, and it was like, "Nike, the toughest athletes on the planet." She's like, "That's right, everybody. Good job, Nike. It's about time people understood that African women are real and they get pregnant, okay?" But I hate that shit because Nike is like the worst corporation. Like they've just got accused of slave labour. Like they just use wokeness to hide the evil shit they're doing. Do you know what I mean? Like you just know they would have had a boardroom meeting where they're like, "Look guys, we've been accused of slave labour again. We need to ramp up the wokeness." Suggestions, what do you got? Okay, what about this? An ad, it's Serena Williams playing tennis with two white women. And it's like, "Nike, dream crazy." It's like, I think we could be a little more woke than that. Okay, Usain Bolt holding hands with 4 Asian men as they run through a refugee camp. Nike, dreams take struggle. Good, Richard, but I don't think you understand. We need to distract from slavery here. We need way more wokeness than that. Okay, a lesbian Muslim playing soccer with a disabled Jew. Nike, dreams unite. Better, Richard. Now you're on it. I can see you're on it. More, though. I know you've got more. Okay, a non-binary Asian trans woman runs through a stadium of disabled Arabic men. When they cross the line, boom, close up on a midget. Brilliant, Richard. You've done it again. Brilliant. That's a little bit offensive, though. It's not midget, it's little people. Excuse me. We've been trying to get them into basketball for years. I wish they did good but had fucked ads. Wouldn't it be better if it was the other way around? Like people actually did actions and then said the opposite? I would rather that, wouldn't you? You know what I mean? Like their ads are fucked, but they're doing amazing things, paying their workers, crazy shit. But their ads are fucked. Like Michael Jordan walks out, he's like, "You'll never be me. Look at you, you fat fuck, sitting on the couch, you're drinking custard, you think you're gonna fucking put on my shoes and slam dunk? You're shit, you're fucking nothing." Nike, don't dream. One ad's just like, "Fuck off. Get fucked, cunt. Get fucked, cunt. Nike, get fucked, cunt." It's a good one. One ad's just an arsehole opening and closing. You're like, who pays for that? That's like, there's no branding. It's just an arsehole appears where the news used to be for an hour. Just doing that. You're like, that's crazy. Is that instead of the project now? Is it just an arsehole? Is that Waleed? Like, what is this? Who is that? What is this, an art piece? Some ads are real sinister, like a dude with a gun walks towards camera. And he's like, "We know where you live. Nike, run." Someone had a go at me about that bit. Someone had a go at me after a show. It was like, "You're having a go at the gay community." I'm like, that's not what I was saying at all. And then she said the weirdest fucking thing. She goes, "Well, boo-hoo. I drink white men's tears." I was like, that's not how you consume our power. It's way more complicated than that. We run the banks and shit. There's a whole thing in place. She's like, "Yeah, well, there's nothing easier than being a white man." And I was like, well, why do so many middle-aged white men kill themselves? What the fuck does that say about our society? It's tough at the top. There's something wrong. There's something wrong when the people that benefited from the system are sick. Man, I fucking like, with the gay community, like, I'm not surprised they're sensitive, you know what I mean? Because, like, man, homophobia is still so happening. It's crazy. Every time I see, like, Christians or Muslims going, like, homosexuality is not natural. Like, man, natural is whatever nature permits. Whatever nature allows is natural. If every time I tried to put my penis in a man's mouth, it just repelled. Like, I was like, "I love you, Steve, but I can't. It just won't let me. It's not permitted." Like, you know, like 2 chess pieces in a travel pack where they're like, "I love you, but I can't. I can't." Just like running the dick at the mouth, like, "Oh, fuck." You're running the dick at him. That's like nature going, "Nah." That's unnatural. Like, we can't travel faster than the speed of light because there's not enough processing power in the simulation. But, he can't be fucking zipping around to shit that isn't made yet. Zipping over to fucking some other part of the thing. We haven't programmed that bit yet. We're walking against a wall in a computer game. But we can't travel faster than the speed of light. If when gay people had sex, they travelled faster than the speed of light, well, that would be unnatural. If you're at a gay club and they're like, "See you, Steve." Like, just launching. Imagine if that was the only way we could travel faster than the speed of light. That would be... Star Wars would be a different movie, wouldn't it? Fucking Chewbacca in a sex swing. We owe our whole fucking society to old gay Greek men. You ever think about it like that? Ancient Greece, rational deduction, mathematics, science, philosophy, individual freedom, democracy, our military tactics, our university system, our schools, all of it comes from these old Greek men. Do you ever thank them? You ever thank him? I saw an old Greek dude the other day. I thanked him. I went up to him, I said, hey, fuck, man, thanks for everything. And he was like, no worries, mate. He's like, hey, listen, these tiles, they're 50% off today, but Pythagoras was right, mate, you got to cut them into triangles. I'm sorry. We wouldn't have America, like, you know, if it wasn't for the old gay Greek man, you know. And America has changed a lot from its original. America is, like, let's be honest as Australians. We think of Americans as stereotypes now. Let's be honest, come on. This is what we picture when we picture Americans. Hey man, where's Iceland? We picture fat, mentally ill lunatics with no sense of geography just going, are there burgers in Iceland? And it's wrong. I've been over there. They're fucking great, Americans. But, you know, we think they're funny because they're so passionate about their beliefs. We think that's funny as Australians. But if anything, we suffer from the opposite problem. We're too apathetic, aren't we? That's why we did so well in COVID. Government was like, get in your house. We're like, yep, no worries, fine, thank you. Stay there for a month. Yep, I'll be here a month, that's fine. Is it okay if I watch the cricket? No, that's fine, it's fine. I'm a scared little man, I don't know who I am. In America, they're like, you won't get me in my house. 5G's turning people into pedophiles. We're not laid back. Isn't that the fucking greatest lie we ever told the world? We're not laid back. We are the most uptight people of any country in the fucking world. If the government said tomorrow we had to wear black cocks on our heads, fucking bullshit, isn't it? Gotta wear a fucking black cock on my head now, have I? Fucking bull. $500 fine if you take your cock off. Fucking bullshit. I'm gonna wear it, but it's bullshit. Fucking bullshit. Can't even fucking pick up my drink. I'm gonna knock it over with the fucking cock in there. $500. $500. Got a speeding fine and a cock off the head fine. Can't even change the channel with the fucking bullshit. Bullshit. If China did invade and they didn't fuck with the footy, the cricket, Netflix or the pubs, I don't even know if we'd notice. That's weird. Xi Jinping's on Q&A. And there's no questions. It's just a monologue with subtitles. We'll never elect a strong man or a strong woman like Thatcher or something like that. That's not now. We're not going to do. We have the tall poppy syndrome in Australia. We're not going to do that, are we? Let's be real, honestly. Are we going to elect someone who's like, listen to me, I'm the greatest, follow me, I know exactly what I'm talking about. These other guys are idiots. You're like, shut up, wanker. Right? That's not our voice of authority. Our voice of authority is a semi-violent, passive-aggressive question. That's what we listen to. Like, if there was ever a dictator in Australia, it'd be shit like, hey, mates don't let mates have negative thoughts about the Supreme Leader. Bring your family to the gulag. I can feel the middle-aged Australian rising up in me as I get older. I can fucking feel it. I'm starting to judge people's reverse parks. Like the other day, I'm like, he's fucked that. Like there's no one around. He's fucked that. Fucked it. I'm starting to tap different materials. That's tapping people's fences. You do that, man, where you're like, that's ply. That's cheap shit. That's cheap shit. You go right through that. That's nothing. That's pine. That's cheap pine from China. Everything's about China. That's from China. Every day, like, hang around the school, pick up my son, and the other middle-aged dads are there, like, "G'day, Roger. G'day, Damien. How are you? Yeah, good to see you, mate. Yeah," just all weird, stiff, awkward. Because we're not a communal creature as middle-aged white men, are we? We can be real, man. We're not communal, ritual, gathering, connecting with each other in the earth. Like, if you saw 40 white middle-aged men just hanging out in the park, something fucked is happening. You're like, "Get back, kids." "Hello, police." Yep, there's 40 of them. They're trying to connect and be friends. It's fucking weird. It's a whole area of people. "Yeah, Tim, Rod, yeah, the council's done a good job of the area, haven't they? They really sort of mowed the area. A good bit of infrastructure around. Your new path here, the new path." Yeah, it's a whole area of people going, yeah. Good. Alienated. I'm alienated. Don't know who I am, Tim. That's what's coming for me very shortly. Have that chat every day. "Roger, yeah, the sun is hot." And, whatever the bullshit is. And our kids are playing. That's how you start life. "Woohoo, yeah, let's play, chase me, woohoo." My son runs over and goes, "Daddy, could Timmy have a sleepover? Just met the dude." Not for adult shit like networking and doing coke or whatever, just the pure fucking joy of the friendship at the moment, just happening. We're not doing that as adults, are we? I'm not like, "Yes, Patrick, of course Timmy can have a sleepover." What about you, Roger? Would you like to come for a sleepover? We could build a fort. Imagine having your 45-year-old mate over for a play. "Come on, Roger, quick, the baddies are coming. Poo, 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 poo. Quick, get in the fort, Roger. I'll protect you like that time you got caught getting pegged by a sex worker. Poo, poo. Remember that, Roger, at the hotel conference? I had to protect you. You're an animal, Roger. The fort can't protect you from yourself, Roger. You know who you are." I attack, the young people and stuff like that. But, the truth is that as I get older, I start, you start feeling irrelevant in our culture. We don't really value that kind of age thing. Like that. And also it's partly because of where I'm from. I'm from the most conservative electorate in Australian history. I'm from the most conservative town in Australia. I'm from Toowoomba, Queensland. And they didn't fucking like change. I remember when they built the first cafe in Toowoomba. It was a coffee club. Oh, fuck. Melbourne, yeah. Disgusting. Coffee club. Imagine. That's what you did. That's true, they built a coffee club and people fucking hated it because they thought it was pretentious. Just people buying coffee. People walk past, fucking coffee wankers, fucking, what's wrong with meth in the morning, cunt? Like, crazy meth problem in Toowoomba, fucking wrong with meth. I remember this 100% true. Me and my brothers, we'd finish work at my dad's tent shop and we'd drive his V8 wagon past the coffee club and we'd drive past and go, "Fucking coffee wankers, eh?" And we'd be like doing donuts around fucking cappuccino. We used to yell at Chino, just because it was different or whatever. So all of that is still in me. So when I see like a young dude or whatever, like riding a motorised scooter with a fucking blowing raspberry smoke, talking about how cryptocurrency to fucking buy NFTs or whatever. There's a part of me that wants to bash him. And do donuts around cryptocurrency because I don't understand it. But I can't because cryptocurrency is a metaphysical concept. But you fucking wait till I get my virtual ute. I'll be in the metaverse, fucking fuck that idea, fucking don't get it. I'll just be in my lounge room like, fuck yeah. Bullshit. I bought a Rainforest Alliance coffee the other day. You know, one of them. It's meant to stop slave labour and ecological damage, which is it's a good thing, right? Yeah. It does feel a little bit like Westerners going, I think we can consume our way through this. We can. It's good consuming. Like the system still stays in place where people get $1 a year or whatever. But some poor Guatemalan dude's like, you know, gets a glass of water or something. Oh, some white cunt in Brisbane bought a fucking coffee. Oh, thank you, here's a glass of water, thank you. Back to work. I want to see real change. I want them to free a fucking refugee in front of me next time I get my long black. I want to see it. You've got 5 stamps on your loyalty card? So we free Eli. Thank you, brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Runs off into Coles to fucking buy a kombucha and assimilate. I can't drink too much coffee, man. I ruminate. You know what I mean? Like the thoughts, you know, the overthinking, you know. Like I used to work in IT support and, man, the boss was like, I'd be ruminating about, like he'd come up to me and say shit like, how come you haven't changed the toner cartridge in the printer yet? And I'd be like, well, I haven't gotten around to it yet. He's like, well, you're letting the whole team down. Do your job. And he'd walk off. Now, what do you do when that happens? You don't go up to him and go, fuck do you say, cunt? Like, fucking, you know what I mean? You don't fucking say it. Come on, say it again. You don't do that, do you? You go, oh, sorry, man, excuse me, sorry, thank you, sorry. Then the revenge fantasies begin, don't they? That's when the revenge fantasies begin. Fucking talk to me like that, fucking say that to my face, you talk to me like that, you fucking motherfucking... And they grow over the week, like you just sit on them, fuck, I'm gonna kill his family. Kill his family, fucking leave a different coloured toner cartridge on every body. Fucking save cyan for your kid, mate, fucking cyan for your kid. I got fired from that job for turning up on magic mushrooms. I wasn't like, I'm not stupid, I didn't take them and go to work. I took them the night before and in a graveyard. I saw a UFO, I fucking swear to God. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I came to work and I was still high, I didn't plan it. I'm sitting in the 8 a.m. boardroom meeting and I'm fucking like, let's fix these printers. You know what I mean? Like I'm ready. I can already feel one of them's disconnected. I can feel it. One of the USB cables has come out. I can feel it. And the girl next to me in the meeting we had every Monday, she's sitting right there. She gets a phone call, finds out her best friend had died. Boom, right there. And then she gets up and leaves, right? Immediately. Everyone's like, holy fuck, what do we do? What do we say? And then we finish the meeting and we go out to the big reception area and there she is at the door, crying, about to leave. And I'm there and everyone's like 8 a.m, fucking walls are up. But I was still very open. So I walked straight up to her without any fear at all. I said, fear nothing, I love you. And she just turned and grabbed me like this and started like crying on my shoulder. She's just crying like this, like grabbing me, crying, holding me. And everyone's watching this. And they're like, what the fuck? And the boss sees this and he like walks over to me and he's like, why aren't you wearing a shirt? He's like, why have you got these charcoal pentagrams and like devil symbols and shit on your body? And I was like, well, this is how I come to work now. And I thought this was genius. I was like, if everybody wore charcoal pentagrams and you were the only dude in a business shirt, you'd actually be the weirdo. And he said, what the fuck are you talking about? You're obviously on drugs. You're fired. And yeah, so now I do this. Anyway. If there's ever been a good time to legalise mushrooms, it's right now. You know, let's legalise them. People need to be connected more. Give them away, if anything, you know, like, because like it's a very individualistic time. It's really the height of the individual, you know, and I can't imagine my generation dying for something bigger than themselves, for example, like hands up if, you know, you die for your country. Yeah, that sort of went out of fashion, didn't it? Remember when that was all the rage? That's why Defence Force ads used to be like, sign up, we want you, fight for your country, die for your... People were like, fuck yeah, they signed straight up. Have you seen Defence Force ads now? They're like lifestyle commercials. They're like travel, study, learn yoga, shoot people in the fucking face, then eat a curry in an Asian market. The army. Relax. Unwind. Defend. There's like a dude in an infinity pool looking over the Middle East, like fucking... Got that weird look, like fucking... Like, there's no real sense of community anymore, you know? Like, I'll give you a great example, like... You know that berry, acai berry? You know that like purple berry? It's really popular at cafes, acai or acai or whatever it is. Where it's from, in South America, it's gathered and ritualistically gathered and worshipped as a god of life in their culture, and people take it for medicinal purposes as a community. Like, I just order it on Uber Eats, and a dude from Peru drives it to me and delivers it, and he's like, this is the source of life in our culture. I'm like, just give me the fucking smoothie bowl, dude. 1 star, too political. I don't want to hear the story. I'm going to eat this alone, watching Netflix, masturbating. So I don't want the story. You know what the truth is? Is that all this like hyper-individualism, this narcissism, it makes comedy harder. Because audiences, like, they're more entitled, more like heckling, more people on their phones in the front row. Like, man, people hate comedy more than any other performing art when it goes wrong. Like, the level of what people want. Like, I've had people wait for me in the car park. Like, fuck it. Not funny, dude. What the fuck? Why wasn't it funny, man? What the fuck? Do you reckon any other performing art gets that? Do you reckon ballet gets that? Fucking not a swan, man. It's fucking like this cunt. Fuck, man. I dealt with a heckler once, and I left the venue really quick, and I got in the car and I stopped at the red light, and he tried to tackle my car. He fucking attacked my car. He's like, come on, man, then. Go on, then. Come at me, man. I'm like, dude, I'm in a car. Like, I'll just like, I'll just crush you, you fucking idiot. I'm just gonna crush you and feel good about it. I'll just like, nice. Got him. He's one of us. Think about that. He's one of our animal. So is like Elon Musk and Neil deGrasse Tyson or whatever his name is, and the fucking Stephen Hawking and all these geniuses or whatever, and come at me in your car. They're in the same animal. What a gap. What a gap in one animal. You know what I mean? Like, you don't see a dog eating its own vomit, then another dog driving a forklift. Because we're the only animal that protects the stupid. Every other animal lets them die. We're like, nah, man, keep going. Just put on a helmet. Just keep doing the thing that's dangerous or whatever. Like, you know that bird that flies into the window? Yeah, all the other birds are like, good, Steve's dead. He was a fucking idiot. That's why they're singing in the morning. Woo, Steve's dead, yeah. Woo, celebrate, celebrate. We put up signs like danger, cliff. For all the people that don't get how cliffs work, who are like, whoa, this cliff is dangerous. And then we put up the sign and they don't fall off the cliff. And then they have kids. And then fucking come at me gets born. That's when he gets born. I'm not saying that we should kill stupid people. I'm saying maybe trap them. Like, have a hole with sticks and leaves over it and put like tickets to fucking a live taping of The Voice or whatever it is. Like, get them in a hole. Australia's Got Talent or whatever the fucking bullshit is. And then put them in a hole and ship them to an island and bomb it. Like, I don't know what the answer is. I'm just saying, because like the gap is going to get bigger. Like, you know, like that 60 ruling elite people or whatever that own as much wealth as everyone. That group, they're going to start modifying their genes. They're going to modify their genes. They're going to become hyper intelligent. They're going to become super strong. They'll levitate. They'll be super beings and they'll eat us. You know when you go to Chinese restaurants and the fish is still alive in the tank? That'll be us. We'll be fucking in a swimming pool and Jeff Bezos will float in. I want that one. Teriyaki pork cunt. Yeah. You know, I worry about the world a lot because, you know, I think when you have a kid, you sort of worry maybe a little bit more. I don't know. Sort of worry about the future. I'm a single dad, you know, and it's a tough time to be a parent in some ways because there's so much pressure these days to be the perfect parent, to buy the right shit and to do the right theory of parenting. Like, I went in to buy a pram and I'm like, oh, hi, which pram should I get? The lady's like, that depends how much you love your child. Because if you really love your child, you'll buy this one. It's worth $16,000. It's made of carbonite, the shit they froze Han Solo in. It's got a terrorist parachute. And if you buy 5 of them and join them together, it makes the pedophile fighting robot. Which is good. Handy feature. I'll tell you something about parenting. There's a lot of you will know this. There's a little competition between every stepdad and actual real proper dad. There's a little competition between every stepdad and actual real proper important dad. There is, and it goes like this. A lot of you will know it. It goes like this. My son will come over from his place, come to my place, and he'll say something like, Daddy, did you know David has the fastest car in Australia? And I don't go, he's a fucking lying dog, because I want him to respect him. So I go, wow, no way. Did you know I used to race Ferraris? And he goes, whoa, that's so cool. And then he goes back and tells that to the fake dad. And that is how the game is played. And to be honest with you, it's starting to escalate. The other day, my son came over and goes, Daddy, did you know David knows the best chef in the world? And I was like, whoa, no way. Did you know I know famous Australian TV celebrity Hamish Blake? The host of Lego Masters. Now, look, I've met Hamish Blake. We've hung out, but we're not good friends because I hate Hamish Blake. And I've told him to his face in front of his family. But I've got to lie to my son to say, yeah, we're good friends, to keep the fake dad, proper dad competition going. And this is 100% true. The other day my son came in and he goes, Daddy, did you know David is a sniper? Yeah. And then he goes, this is true, he goes, and he's a pope. I was like, fuck that, man. You can't be a fucking pope sniper. It's fucking ridiculous. You can't be a pope sniper. It's too far. It's ridiculous. It's not even in the realm of reality. I called him up. I'm like, dude, you can't be a pope sniper. You can't, man. It's fucking ridiculous. And he's like, what? That's within the rules? I'm like, it's not in the rules, bro. You got to be you can't be the pinnacle of moral authority and an assassin. It doesn't make sense. And he's like, oh, fucking sorry, man. Come over for pizza. I'm not fucking... What kind are you making this time? Pizza. Fucking Pope sniper. Fucking ridiculous. If I was a Pope sniper, I know I'd shoot Hamish Blake. No, it's just that I'm not bitter. No, I'm not. It's just, if you're gonna fucking host Lego Masters, you should be good at Lego. No, I'm excellent at Lego, and I just think, maybe, anyway, whatever, but I'm just at that stage in my career where I'd like to make some money. Just some money. They're starting to offer me cruise ship gigs, bro. Cruise ship gigs. You know that's the beginning of the end. Comics hate that shit. They're like, what are you having to go to the Pacific Jewel for, man? What's wrong with the Pacific Jewel? I'm like, nothing. It's my favourite floating cultural genocide. It's like the ship of the dead out there, honestly. In Pirates of the Caribbean now there's that ghost ship? It's like that. The comics are like, join us. They're like trying to get me to join us. There's a buffet, Damo. Join us. You have to do an hour of clean material. Join us. There's a kids show. Join us. How are you working with kids? International waters, there's a loophole. Join us. And I'm like, I've got business with the living. I'm not going there yet. I don't know. Look, I always thought when I started comedy that I wanted to be on TV. And, I always thought that was the thing. And I got offered that recently. I got to audition for Hughesy We Got a Problem, which is a famous TV show in Australia where, Dave Hughes asks comedians their problems in life and they riff a story and it's hilarious, sort of. And I got offered sometimes. And I got offered to audition for that where they do a live taping. And that's what the audition is. And I got to do it. And I was like, this is what I wanted. And I realised something. Since I had those dreams, my sense of humour has become a little bit fucked. Like, it's a little bit fucked up. And he's asking the comedians, what's your problems? And then he came to me. He's like, what's your problem? And I was like, I was molested. Nothing. Just silence. I'm like, what the fuck? That's the funniest answer you can give. Are you fucking serious? The studio audience just quiet. It's just like the producer came out and goes, we think you're a little bit too intense for our show. Grabbed me by the arm and took me out of the show. And it never fucking aired. And I was like, that was the funniest. Okay. And then recently, same kind of thing, big commercial radio station, Triple M, Brisbane, changing breakfast host. They're like, come in, audition. So I'm live on the air auditioning. And it's like, this is what I want, commercial radio. And then they asked me to do a prank call to see if I could improvise. They asked me, it's true. They asked me to do a prank call. And they said, just pretend you're a plumber. This guy we've organised, his wife's given them blah, 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 blah. Just call in, pretend you're a plumber. So I call up the guy, answers, yeah, g'day, this is Terry. And I go, yeah, g'day, Terry. This is the plumber, Rob. Oh, yeah, mate, you had a look at the job. What do you think? Well, mate, I reckon about 200 grand damage. What? What the fuck are you talking about, mate? There's a leaking pipe. Yeah, mate, and we've already started work. What? I didn't give you permission to start work, mate. Well, we've got to charge you now. You're not fucking charging me. Jesus Christ. And I go, just kidding, mate. It's actually Damo from Triple M. Oh, Damo, you bastard. You got me, you bastard. Jesus. How did you get my number? You molested me. Gotcha. Anyway, you guys have been great. Thanks so much for having me. Thank you so much.
Hey, hello. How's it going? Yeah, sick. Big special, can you believe it? Oh my gosh. I have to dress like this for the special. Because the show's sponsored by a paramilitary organisation. Don't want to say which one. They're not the good guys. And Saddam Hussein. It's true. Got an Uber today, got in the car. First thing the guy says to me is like, do you mind if I talk to a friend? And I'm a normal guy, right? So I said, of course. And thank you for considering me a friend. We had the best conversation. It was so good. He was speaking Urdu and I responded in English. It was a beautiful cultural exchange. He kept doing this. I'm like, that must be a cultural gesture. So I did this. Thank you. But no, I'm good. I've been doing well. I've been cooking a lot. So good. I learned to cook online, right? But I think it's so special that recipes that used to be passed down from generation to generation. I think that's so special. So I got to tell my kids that my grandfather passed me down Jamie Oliver's superfood pasta. Tell them that Jamie Oliver's a province in China. We're from the Jamie people. I've been cooking, I've been eating at other people's houses, diversify the portfolio, you know. I was at a friend's house eating dinner and he cooked this lamb shoulder and it took him 2 days to cook this lamb shoulder and he was bragging about it. I didn't even know that was something you could brag about, like the amount of time it took you to prepare the meal. But I found it to be quite a good excuse to serve my guests leftovers. Oh, this is a 24-hour stir fry. This pizza's been dry aged for 7 days. Good stuff. I love food. I am a foodie. Guilty. Love food. I love coffee as well. Big coffee head. A couple of fans of coffee. Nice. I love coffee, but I reckon coffee culture's gone nuts. You know what I mean? Like, it's gone too far. Because there's coffee places everywhere. Like, I saw a coffee place in a rock climbing gym. I'm like, surely that's too far. Yeah. There's a coffee place at my local library. I saw a woman order a triple shot latte. I'm like, what book are you trying to read? Must be pretty tough. Anyway, I was getting a coffee from my mechanics and... Mechanics are like the last profession that there's no regular retail price, right? There's no sign behind them telling you how much it's going to cost. You can't just Google how much a service is, right? It's just numbers swirling around in their mind. Only they know on any given day how much they're going to fleece you. I don't know if you can tell this just by looking at me, but I'm not a pushover. That's not a funny bit. Got a great deal out of this guy. 2 tyres, $7,000. So... He did upsell me though. I reckon he upsold me. I don't think I needed the second tyre. I just went in for a latte. This mechanic, he kept saying the word roughly, right? He's like, it's roughly quite a big job. It's roughly going to take 1 to 2 days. Like, he kept saying the word roughly, and he got so in the habit of saying it that he started saying it when he was asking for my details. He was like, roughly, what's your phone number? I'm like, if you want a ballpark, it's about $500 million. Coffee's too strong. This stuff, it's too strong. I mean, I remember back in the day, coffee used to be nice. You could drink coffee in the morning and go to sleep the same night. Like, you could even drink it at night time. Like, you could whip up a blend 43, watch a couple of episodes, and then sink into the night, you know? Nowadays, I have a sip of coffee and I get anxiety and diarrhea. I see my barista and my guts flinch. Having a panic attack in the coffee store, I don't know. There's no drink that's as relaxing as coffee gets you G'd up. Someone's trying to tell me that it was chamomile tea, but chamomile tea sucks. Chamomile tea tastes like if water got wet. I don't know, maybe I'm being harsh. I like the scent of it. I've been using this new chamomile shampoo. Relaxing chamomile flavour. It's good stuff. I was using it for the first time. It's going so well. But then a bit of it got into my eye. And it stung a lot. But I was calm throughout the whole thing. It's like... I don't know. I don't understand it because people ask me to meet for a coffee. They're like, let's go meet for a coffee. I don't understand that because what I'm hearing is, let's go do a poo-poo. You know what I mean? It's a 1 hour meeting. We've only got a half an hour of face-to-face time. We're both paying in the toilets for 15 minutes each. All right, I don't know about that one. There was a big foodie during lockdown. Gained quite a bit of weight. At the end of lockdown, I had to go to the doctors for something else, hemorrhoids. And but at the end of the meeting, he gave me quite a stern warning. He's like, "I'm sorry, but you have to lose 5 kilos if you want to look hot." He said that, and I was trying to figure out how to lose the weight. I was like going on YouTube, and there's all these different ideas about weight loss, and I couldn't figure out what the correct one was because everyone's like arguing with everyone. And I found this one guy. He was called Carnivore MD, and his whole thing is a meat-only diet. But he reckons it's true because he's lived as a raw vegan for 8 years before that. So in his lifetime, he's had a balanced diet. But it's like, I don't know who to trust. I had to get a personal trainer, and this personal trainer was like, you gotta put down your body goals. You gotta dream big. He's like, think big. What are your body goals? And I was like, I would love to gain 2 foot. My dream to be 5'5". I'm good. I'm doing well. It's New Year, new me. Yeah. It's Chinese New Year. You don't hear about a lot of Chinese New Year resolutions. Hey? Like, I'm gonna set off more firecrackers this year. As Chinese New Year just passed, Year of the Tiger. I like the zodiacs in the Chinese New Year. You know how they have all those different zodiacs? Anyone celebrate Chinese New Year? Oh, you do? Are you Chinese or other? Other. Welcome. I'm mucking about. I like the zodiacs, but I think some of them, they sound quite offensive in the Western context. Like, I remember when my dad was introducing, our family to other people, and he'd tell other people our zodiacs, it sounds so rude. He'd be like, my wife's a pig. My daughter's a dog. And my son's a rat, you know. Anyway, they're all born in the year of the horse, so... It was meant to be a good year, the year of the tiger. It was meant to be a hot one. It was not off to a good start for me. Off to a terrible start, actually. First day of the year of the tiger, I walked back into my house and I caught my housemate washing her dog with my shampoo. I couldn't believe it. It was this relaxing chamomile stuff. It was good stuff. It was expensive. It's the best one at the 7-Eleven, and on the side of the label it was like vegan, organic, no animal testing. I had to call them up. I'm like, it's been tested. He really likes it, you know. He used so much of the shampoo, this guy, you know. I don't know if you know this, but dogs, they got a lot of hair. If you don't believe me, think about this. They got bodies. They don't use body wash. It's all shampoo, you know? You'd be wasting your time making a body wash for dogs. They only service this section. You know how they got that shaved bit? Some of you don't know about dog anatomy, but it's a crazy start to the year. It's not been all bad though. Some good stuff happening. A lot happening in the world of television. There's constantly a show out. Always something to watch. I've been trying to work on segues. I think that's a good one. The world of television. There's a lot out there. Been watching so much. I've been watched all the mainstream stuff, right? That everyone's been watching. Finished all of that. Watched one called Drive to Survive. Not bad. Got to be in Melbourne during F1 weekend. Saw a few Grand Prix around. I actually got to go to one of the races. It was so good, but they confiscated all my banana peels. I don't know. I watched all the mainstream stuff. Squid Game. I was in that. Played the little girl. Watched all the mainstream stuff. Then I had to start watching the niche stuff because there's nothing else left. Had to watch the niche ones. I started watching one called Old People's Home for 4-year-olds. If you don't know what the premise of this show is, it's a crazy show. What they do is they pair up these old people, right? And these old people, they got depression. They've had depression their whole lives, and nothing's been able to solve it. So in a last-ditch attempt, they pair them up with 4-year-olds in order to cure them. A lot of pressure on the 4-year-olds. I mean, these kids, they've lived 3 years of their life. On the 4th year, TV producers come up to them, said, do you want to be a psychologist? It's kind of crazy, but I was watching movies as well. Last movie I watched before the coronavirus... You guys know what I'm talking about. Coronavirus pandemic happened. The last film I watched was one called Uncut Gems. I saw that in the cinemas. Blew my mind, this film. This was amazing. High-octane Adam Sandler movie. I was taken aback by this movie. Beautiful stuff. As soon as the movie ended, I'm like, that's the best movie I've ever seen. I thought that. And then the credits started to roll, and I was sitting next to an old lady, and all she said was, there was a lot of yelling. And normally I wouldn't have said anything, like I let people have their opinions, but the movie, it affected me so much that I had to say something, you know? I turned to her, I was like, I wouldn't have had to if you give me some of your popcorn like I asked. It's me doing the yelling. But I watched that movie Little Women. Watched it on my iPhone. Get those women even littler. It's so small, couldn't believe it. I'm on the iPhone, I'm mucking about on there. I'm always trying to be ahead of the tech game. Do you know what I mean? You have to be one step ahead because you don't know what they're going to do to you. I'm trying to be ahead of big tech. I was like born into the computer era, you know? I thought I'd be always good with computers. Like I thought I could do computers forever. 5 years old, that's the first time I ever went on a computer and I was like, I'm good at this. Like I knew what to do on there. Like I knew which ads not to click on, like which blokes not to talk to. I was safe on there. I had Norton antivirus running on full blast. I'll never get aged out of this. That was my thought. I'm 27 years old now. Like, I've already been aged out. Can't believe it. Nowadays, I log on to Google Chrome. It's saying I got 280 compromised passwords. I'm like, what do you want me to do about it? Like, I'm not about to change 280 passwords. I'd rather just change my life. Like, I'll be someone else, I reckon. They reckon you got to have a unique password for every website. I'm like, I don't even remember my dad's birthday. And that's my password, like... I don't know. They don't honour passwords anymore, either. They don't respect passwords. I've started to notice that. It's kind of creeping into society, this disrespect for passwords. Because back in the day, you go onto a website, you type your password in, and they'd be like, yeah, we've heard that. Like, we honour that, come on in, yeah. Explore the possibilities. They don't honour passwords anymore. You ever tried logging into your email from someone else's computer? You ever did that? They don't let you in anymore. They send you a text. You got to print that text out, get your dad to sign it. He takes it into the mayor, right? The mayor shows you 9 unique images. You got to tell him which one's got a street sign in it. I don't understand the logic behind this. Because you're telling me, like, a computer hacker, they've gone to school for 3 years, but they don't know what a street sign looks like. Blows my mind. At the bottom, like, the reason it says, prove you're not a robot. And it's like, I don't know whether or not I am a robot, but I know for sure that you are a robot. You're a website. So what's it to you? What's this self-hating robot doing guarding this page? If anything, you should be letting me in. You should say, prove you are a robot. I don't know, it didn't affect me too much, this whole password thing, until I was living in this share house and it was in a reception dead zone. Like, you couldn't get any bars of reception in the house, and what that meant was I could log into the email, but I couldn't get the text. It's a nightmare. I had to walk out of my house to get reception. By the time I could get 1 bar of reception, I was already halfway down the street, almost at the post office. I'm like, I may as well send this email as a letter. I'm like, dear Father, thank you so much for the video. I'm also suspicious of the vaccine. I mean, I want to get it taken out of me. I'm just kidding. I believe whatever you guys believe. That's good stuff. I don't know, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Normally, comedians will wait for like a big laugh or applause break to drink water, but an opportunity has not yet presented itself. No, I'm doing good. A lot of snakes out there, they're trying to figure out how well I'm doing. Well, I'm doing good. Let's just say that this year I might be tuning into the Emmy Awards. That's right, I bought a TV, so... Oh, not bad. No, I am doing good. I'm flying exit row now. It's not bad. It's pretty good, exit row. Tell you that much for free, but... One thing they don't tell you about exit row, though, is at the start of your time in exit row, a woman comes up to you and she tells you that in the event of an emergency, the lives of every single passenger is your responsibility. And then she gives you a 2-minute speech about what you're supposed to do when this emergency happens. And she goes, are you willing and able to assist in the event of an emergency? And I was like, 2 minutes ago, I thought that was your job. Like, what are you doing during the emergency? Serving drinks? So I might need a couple, I reckon. Then she starts asking people one by one, right? And everyone's lying to her face. I reckon they're lying because I don't know if I'm willing or able. Like, I don't have any airline emergency training. I don't have any formal training, full stop. Like, the closest thing I got to a formal education is I've done 1.5 years of an arts degree. So I can tell you how evocative the flames are. But I can't tell you why they're evocative. I'm not up to that bit yet, you know? She's asking people one by one. The guy next to me, he for sure is lying to her. He's a 13-year-old boy. It's not even a smart 13-year-old boy. He's dumb. At one point in the flight, I hear him ask where the toilets are. I'm like, the flight's linear. The toilets are at the front and the back of the plane. Like, you can't get lost on the plane. It's a tube. There's no hallways on the plane. Like, the plane is the hallway. His mum's getting angry at me for yelling at him, but our lives are in his hands. I can't believe it. I'm the last guy to get asked, and I'm looking at this row. I'm like, I'm the only guy here with integrity. I try to get out of it. I'm like, can I do a different job? Like, I could help with the bags or... But she was adamant it had to be the airline emergency, and she was losing patience with me because of the crying boy. My back was against the wall, both metaphorically and physically. All I could say was, yes, I am willing to risk the lives of every single passenger for more legroom. 'Cause that's what it's about, right? Legroom. I don't even need the legroom. Look at me. Probably the smallest guy on the flight. You know? On regular economy, my legs are dangling. I'm swathing for I can't even reach the seat pocket, you know? Swathing for my copy of 12 Rules for Life by Dr. Jordan B. Peterson. If only I could reach it, then I could become a man. I want to be like the lobster. I love this job. So good. What do you do for work? You hire out cameras. Oh, did you do these cameras? So did you get like a free ticket? Oh no. Interesting. So, but even you as a guy who hires out cameras, you prefer seeing it live still. You know what I mean? So some might say you don't really believe in your job, but... Nah. Thanks for coming. I believe in this. I love this work. I was talking to my sister about work, right? And she was telling me about her job. She works like 9 to 5, 5 days a week, support her family. It's beautiful. I'm tearing up thinking about it now. We were talking about her work for a bit, then we started talking about my job, and you've seen most of my work day, and by the time the show ends, you'd have seen all of it. You know what I mean? This is about halfway through, like, this is my 1 p.m. I'm choosing not to take a lunch break. I'll work through anything, you know? I got COVID right now. But we were talking about our work, and I think, like, she knew that this is what I do for work, but I think she, like, it's the first time she realised that this is all I do. It really sunk in for her. She's like, she had this realisation. She's like, hold on. People just come see you do your job in their spare time. And that really sunk in for her. She's like, I could watch you do your entire job in my spare time. And when she said that, like, that hit me. I was like, I could watch you do your job in my spare time. I got so much spare time. I don't know what to do with it, you know? And then she started calling me lazy. She's like, oh, your job's so lazy, it's stupid. I think that's unfair. Because Usain Bolt, He goes to work, he's clocking off in 10 seconds. You know? Saw that sign recently. It says, live, love, laugh. So good. I love that sign. I love it because laugh, that made it on. That's my job. That's the KPI I'm trying to hit, you know? But doesn't deserve to be on the sign, you know? Every day I thank God for alliteration. Because if it weren't for alliteration, laugh would not be on there. It's not the third best thing, you know? It's the third best thing starting with L. The first two things, they are the best things. Live. Everyone's doing that. If you're not doing it, then the sign's not for you, yeah? And then love. Hello? You ever heard of that? Do you know that worldwide there are over 100 songs about love? And I'm actually being serious. I mean, if it weren't for alliteration, laugh would not be one of the 3 commandments of the beach house. You know? Shouldn't be on there. I love seeing that sign. Lights up my day. Puts a big smile on my face seeing that sign. I love the beach. I was at the beach one time with a friend, right? She introduced me to a couple of her friends who I'd never met before. And we all swam out into the middle of this body of water, like quite deep in. We were all treading water in a circle. You guys ever seen that? But I found myself exhausting at a much faster rate than everyone else. Found that at one point I was about 30 seconds away from drowning. But as this was happening, one of the girls I just met, she was telling me a story about her work. It's one of the most boring stories I've ever heard. But the problem with the story was that there were no gaps where I could explain my situation. Tell her that I was drowning a little bit. So eventually I just went under. The whole time I was under, I thought to myself, I can't believe that's the last story I'll ever hear. I'm at the beach, I'm trying to keep an active lifestyle, you know, moving around. I'm walking quite a bit. Don't mind walking. So good. Perfect type of walk is a loop, right? Starts where it ends. I don't need to explain walks to you, but I mean, and it's good. But around my house, 35 Ashfield, there's no loops, right? There's only a straight line. The problem with a straight line is that at one point you just got to decide to stop and turn around, which looks crazy. Because all the stranger is seeing is a guy going like, I can't be doing that in my neighbourhood. Like, I can't look crazy because I'm regular, you know. And so I had to figure out a way for this to look normal. I spent the day brainstorming. Came up with this. I get to the spot, and I take out my phone, open up Google Maps, and go. Oh. And that works perfect, right? Because all the stranger is seeing is this is just a regular guy going on a normal walk and he can't find his friend's house every day. I mean, I was talking about the loop earlier. You guys remember that? Saying it's a perfect walk, but I was embellishing. Because the loop, it does have its own problems. The closest loop to me is called the Bay Run. A couple of fans. The Bay Run, I can't walk there because it's too far, so I have to drive to the walk, which I find interesting, because you're taking a superior mode of transport to a lesser form of transport. Sometimes I'm wondering when I'm getting out of the car if the car's thinking, okay, if you want. The Bay Run, this loop, it's too long for me. I go halfway and I turn around, but Just a gag. But the problem with a loop is this, is that like people are walking at different speeds throughout the loop. And there's an unspoken rule that if someone's trying to overtake you, you got to slow down and let them. But some people don't know this. I found myself walking alongside a woman for about 3 minutes. At one point I had to turn to her, I was like, what are we? De facto? I don't even know what de facto is. I think de facto is that your boyfriend doesn't want to marry you. Sorry, babe. That's good. I had to go on realestate.com. Had to move houses. Been telling too many people my address. Now I've moved to an apartment. 5 Campsie, New South Wales. I love saying my address on stage. It's good fun. My family warned me. They're like, don't say your address on stage. Don't do it. But my justification is that, like, I say it so quickly that, like, you wouldn't be able to remember what my address is. And if you really wanted to know what it was, you'd have to come back to watch the show again. And at that point, who's robbing who? You know? Moved houses, this new apartment. I'm living alone for the first time, and a lot of my friends, they warned me. They're like, you're going to slip into bad habits. There's no accountability. You're going to slip into bad habits. And I already feel it, you know? Like I'm doing my poo-poos with the door open. Which is grubby stuff, I can acknowledge that. But to be fair, it is more convenient. Because it means that I don't have to fumble for my keys when I go back inside. I'm doing them in the stairwell. I think Strata cleans it up. I'm not sure. It's not there in the morning. But a lot of you probably out there, you're thinking, Aaron, you've moved houses, but are you still walking? It's a beautiful question. I am. I love walking. I walk anywhere. Everywhere I go, I'm walking. I'm serious. My favourite walk of all time is in the Adelaide Botanic Gardens. So beautiful. It's a stunning place. Took so many plants home. This is beautiful walk. The time I did it, I got there at the crack of dawn, 10:30 a.m. and real early in the morning, bright and shine. And got there 10:30. I saw there was a sign that said guided walks, 10:30 a.m. That's the time I was there. And there was a woman standing next to the sign, and she was trying to get me to come on the walk. She's like, come along. And I said, no, thank you. Because I don't need any help. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be arrogant or anything. I just think that it is an easy thing to do. Because a universal benchmark for something not being hard is a walk in the park. I'm out there. That's the travelling I was doing for the last few years, just walking. Well, I did a bit of travel right before the pandemic. I did worldwide trip. You remember that? Worldwide trips? Not bad. I was in China right before it happened. I didn't do it. I was in China, I was mucking about there, and then I got quite a cheap flight to Italy. No correlation. I was in Italy. Some of you probably thinking, imagine this guy in Italy. Like, what would he get up to? This next story might be for you then. I was in quite a small town in Italy called Spelonga. Right? It was so small that there was only like one cab driver operating in the whole area. And I had to get into the train station there from Rome, like it's a little train trip, and then into the station and to meet the cab driver. I was meant to get in at 11 p.m. That's what time I was meant to get to the station, but due to the Italian administration system and general work ethic, I didn't get in until 12 a.m. I see the taxi driver, and he's an old guy, right? 11 p.m, already past his bedtime. 12 a.m, he's livid, right? He's pissed off. I see him and I try to ease the situation, because normally I'm pretty good at complex social dynamics. But my regular Arsenal's out the window, because he can't speak English, and I can't speak Italian. So it's an away game, right? But even still, like, I try to get him back on board. I put my bags in his car and get into the passenger seat. Limited Italian, I know. I try small talk on him. But every bit of small talk I do, like, he gets even angrier and even angrier. And we've been through all the pastors. And after carbonara, there's a long silence. Huh? I'm freaking out because I don't know where he's taking me. We haven't agreed on a price for the trip. Do you know how scary that is? He's speeding down highways. He's like swerving all about. My life is in his hands. And in this moment of panic, I notice on the stereo it says the letters CD, which is universal for compact disc. It means this is this guy's music, right? He liked it enough to buy a copy of it. So with that in mind, I took my phone out secretly, opened up an app called Shazam. Tells you what song's playing, right? Shazam it. It's an Italian pop singer called Franco Battiato. Keep that in my mind. I put my phone away. Don't want him to think that the phone has anything to do with what's about to happen next. I'm sitting in my seat, geeing myself up for the biggest gambit of my lifetime. Eventually, sitting there in silence for a little bit, eventually I pluck up the courage. And I turn to him. I point at the stereo. And I'm like, Franco Battiato? He don't say anything. He's silent. He's silent for like 5.5 seconds. Longest 5.5 seconds of my life. Felt like 6 seconds. But eventually he goes, Franco Battiato. Si. Bravo. I was like, bravo? Spoke English all along. Felt so good. Got him back on board, you know what I mean? I had to go celebrate. So the next day, I went to this little restaurant, right? Specialised in only one thing. Is like been there for years and years, and they only did one thing, and they were the best in the world at it. It's like this deep fried rice ball. Got to the front of the line. They said arancini. I said no, Aaron Chen. That's the end of the show. Thank you very much.